Kuna wega lo ne mi ma ya lo ne ma nga ba de bobo ana de bona o ga egina ana de bona o ga egina ana ewo ne wera buka egina ye dono egana longela nyanga ana egana lo mo garenye dura lo go alama dura lo go ana ele ngabe we ana ele ngabe we ya kuna lo mo miwa ena we galo ne miwa ya lo ne ma wade ipobo ya lo ne ma wade ipobo ana elo ana elo ana elo ewa ana ewa 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 ana elo elawa yena kwe tomo miwa kunu na kwe we lo ne mi mai ya dempa na baje ibobo ana kwe tumo 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 ana pato banwe ana pato banwe ana bo ato banyo malo na asanyo malo na asanyo sandala ju aba walongo sandala ju aba walongo enga mwa wale kamongo kabato kubo ewa Muadana, Ongana, Taona, Duale, Nabemwe, Duale Kunamoke, Nuderubo, Nabali, Yangela, Diega, no paper, get Lodebo, Nabapoya, Liba Mawalo, Gayele, Liba Deo, Gayele, Liba Wolomo, Talayala, Yamawe, Damo Pray. Nyanga duba monokwe kedale ya malo kubale ye peraga ye tebo ya mreyo ya mo babalo mema malo ne kubale yema ya mre pepe
good evening
ya mre pepe bale yema
Okay, good evening, folks. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. I am Afonso Zayn Salt of the Liberia Public Radio 10 LPR TV. We want to welcome you to this Sunday's editions of The Examiner. The Examiner is an informative news magazine every Sunday right here. We also apologize. We're running a little 15 minutes late, but we're going to make sure the next 1 hour, 30 minutes, we're going to also recover that because today, more or less completing a lot of ceasefire in the politics. We will be looking at other news happening in the community, outside of the community, but more or less creating an opportunity Liberian exploring new innovation as to how their country can be useful in the business world and to be helped. Mr. Dwalo will be here. He's here already backstage. I'm going to be bringing in, and we're going to be asking some tough questions. Some of those questions, I know it might sound repetitive because I have had a lengthy conversation as well, which is okay. But we intend to have these conversations in the interest of fairness and to make sure what we intend, if it would be part of this or not, based on what. But from all indications, this gentleman He has done all what he should do, but we'll continue to have these conversations. I want to thank you so much. If this is your first time on this network, we say you are wholeheartedly welcome. This is the Diaspora Informative News Outlet. Quality versus more than quantity. Okay, time has fast spent. Let me just bring in my guest here, but let's do this, and we want to bring in here. Welcome to the show. Okay, thank you so much. Welcome. Let me just bring in my guests, and we're going to have a conversation here this evening. There you see Mr. Dwalo and the people. Okay, let's see who these people are, whether I am part of that people, or it is inclusive, or just few people. We're going to find out. Look, Dwalo, good to have you here. We've been having a lot of these little bit chat here and there, way back before to get us where we get at. But I think this is the first time not on LPR with me. I'm not talking about the liberal because the liberal, he asked a ridiculous question the other day that I was upset about. He is who he is. But welcome on the house of the examiner. So we're going to be, everything going to be examined here this evening. Are we in accordance with that?
Yes, to the audience, you're welcome. Mr. So, I called Mr. To so many so like the last time, and I went back and watched the show. I was like, oh my God. But Mr. So, I'll try not to make that mistake here tonight. To the audience, as always, we have to talk about Liberia. We have to push the issue of Liberia. And this is what I intend to do, if God is willing, for the rest of the time that I have here. Because if we do not push Liberia, nobody's going to push Liberia. We've been left far behind. Something has to be done. And I think this is a right approach to talk about the issues pertaining to our country and how we can find solutions to them, Mr. So that's the goal for me going forward.
Okay. I guarantee, I'm not going to be like the liberal. The liberal, he quick to wave, he quick to surround us. And this is the problem. That's the problem I always have with this gentleman on this network. I don't know. All you should have done, call your attention to Dwalo but he tries to be, that's not being nice. It's another way of leading people on the wrong path. You have your guest saying something, call there, and that's it. But, he is who he is, so that's it. Okay, let's get the ball rolling here. I've been watching this. I'm very sensitive. You know that from little conversation we've been hearing here and there. Mr. Dwalo and the people, let's have some little bit clearing out here, and then we can get to the nucleus of tonight's conversation. Mr. Dwalo and the people, who are those people?
The Liberian people. What I've done, and I love the question, nobody's asked me this one before, Mr. Dwalo and the people. I believe I cannot do anything if it's not weighed and scrutinized by the people. So for the longest time that I've been on from the drive, when I have my own show, The Message to the Legatees of Liberia, and even on Spoon Network, I put the people. The reason for that is I believe everything I do must be approved by the people to some extent. I'm not saying they have to physically go approve, but I want to live my life in a way that is representative of the people that I care so much about. So this is who the people refer to, the people.
And the reason I'm asking that, you're a versatile guy. Most of the time, people, whether the politicians or in the business world, they enjoy some sort of name to fit their narrative. People, and very suddenly, at the end of the day, those people are left by the wayside. So, is that going to be different from that of the other people been having? The people, when we see the actual ordinary Liberian, those the downtrending, those the market boy, the young boys, the ordinary Liberian that sit on the sidewalk to meet their daily bread. Are those people would remain in the picture, Dwalo?
Always. Look, I'm a firm believer in this. I believe we cannot do anything on a massive scale in the absence of the inclusion of the people. So the people have to approve everything you do. If you want to become successful or you want to leave a legacy, something that I eagerly want to pursue, to leave a great legacy to Liberia, you have to include the people. You cannot keep them to the wayside. If you've listened to me over the last maybe 6-7 years now, when I got involved into talking about Liberia, when I really got covered on the issue of Liberia, I believe over the last 177 years, we entirely neglected the people whom we serve. Now, I've never served in government. Nobody in my family has ever served in government. But I believe those who have served, in many instances, we've forgotten the core of our responsibility to people. So I include the people. I can never forget the people because I believe the people will make or break you. So you have to always consider the people.
Okay, we will pivot very shortly because time is fast spent.
Yep.
And these sort of conversations is very difficult to undo politics. Politics is not going to be the center of gravity of our conversation here, but you have talked politics a lot. Mm-hmm. Your voice, your wide tones, and I see some of the things. And when you say something, the response of the audience, viewers, lower, and all of that, we're going to come to that here. But let's come to the main issue here this evening. Talk to me how this Liberian diaspora corporations or equity funds, whatever you will, right? When this really trickle to mind?
It's been 3 years in the making. Before that, and this is what happened. In 2007, 2008, I took a small operation back home. I invested a little over $280,000 of my own money into Liberia. I bought these tanker trucks and I took a porta potty business. So the business, the Metro Steel Railway extension from Buchanan to Yekepa, I had the contracts with Metro Steel, the Kennedy Hotel expansion, the U.S. Embassy expansion. So I was doing business in the country. I had my trucks. I had over 100 porta potties, 27 employees in the country. I traveled the country extensively. And one thing I noticed across the country was I will put a number at maybe north of 80% of the people outside of Monrovia, they are literally living in the 1800s. That weighed on me, but I was so focused on doing what I do, I really didn't focus on it. So I went to Liberia really quite frequently, sometimes 4 or 5 times a year. I'll run to Liberia. I went back and forth. When I finally came back, when I finally settled back in 2017, 2018, and I really began to think about what we are doing in the diaspora. I started looking at the number very, very closely, Mr. Soul. And the numbers was not reflecting or in a way being positioned in a way that would change the condition of the people in the country. And I began to ask myself this question: what can we do here in the West, in the diaspora, to somehow effectuate some change in the country? How can we go about it in a way that is organized, that is targeted, and that is positioned in a way that we can find something in the country to create jobs for the people we left behind? Mr. So I believe this, and I still believe this, that if I did not come to America, maybe this is true for most people, but I will talk about myself, that maybe I'm stuck on Riverside Highway, Buchanan Highway, maybe somewhere in Buchanan, somewhere in Monrovia, being a pimping driver or a keke driver or wheelbarrow boy. But this is what I believe. I believe God has given us a golden opportunity to come to this country. There is an expectation that we have to turn back to the country to do something. Now, I don't know what this something is, but I believe the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund could be the conduit through which we begin to industrialize. And I really believe this. The vision of this organization is very simple. Initially, obviously, is to raise money, but we intend to achieve 4 things in the country. 4 things, 4 simple things. Number 1, primarily, is to make our shareholders money, Mr. Soul. Like any organization that is for profit, we are not a charitable organization. 1 is to make the shareholders money. Number 2 is to create massive amount of jobs in the targeted areas in the country. We have zoned the country into 5 economic zones that we are going to target. So number 1 is to make the shareholders money. Number 2 is to create massive amount of jobs across the country. Number 3 is to have economic influence in the country. I want us from the West, from the diaspora, Liberians scattered across the globe, to control commerce in the country. And number 4 is to get Liberian expertise back into Liberia. And the only way this can be achieved is through organization, through building a corporation that we control, we can go back to the country and we can win these contracts. We can start new businesses. We can start new industry, and we can begin small-scale manufacturing across our country. And this is the aim of the cooperation. Before I give it back to you, I want to say this. And my task here now is to speak to every Liberian across the globe, especially here in America. I'll send you a poster today, Eventbrite. We are launching our first in-person event. If you're living in New England, I'm asking you, call the number on Eventbrite on the poster, or go to Eventbrite, book a seat. We will be coming there and speak to our Liberian people and say, our country is dying. It is okay to send home 600 million, 800 million every year. But if we do not organize this money, we will be talking for the next 177 years, and our country will be stuck in no place. This has to change, and I believe the cooperation can change this.
In everything, I consider timing, the idea, how it came about. Do you remember what point in time, be it night, be it day, this thing sort of pop out? I need to get this done. Do you remember that time? Do you ever had a conversation with someone? Other people always have second person, third person, people that are confide in, to have a conversation to see, to just get other people's opinion. We are human beings.
The idea has always been there, but it was solidified. Yesterday, aha moment for me. It must have been like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I was reading this book called Why Nations Fail. It's written by this guy. I think he just won the Nobel Peace Prize. He's called Acemoglu. They teach at Harvard and MIT. Why nations fail. Why these nations are failing. But in that book, it also tells you why nations succeed. And then during my research, in fact, I published an entire paper called A Simple Economic Guide to Fix Liberia. You can Google the paper and then see the position that I took after I read these things. So the reason why nations fail and the reason why nations have become successful, there is something that goes into nation building. And this is what it is. It's targeted intentions and organization with a vision to make sure that organization that you have put together actually materializes. And there is actually a calculation to making sure a nation becomes successful. It's been time tested over and over and over again. And almost every single thing that I looked to, from studies, from reading, it was private enterprise that forced the government to readjust, to cater to the people's business by having private citizens and building the middle class in the country that push the government to actualizing the vision of the people. And this is where I've said, but then, you know what, Rome? This is the aha moment for me. I don't remember the exact day, but I remember this moment. You know, I put the book down. I still have the book here. It's in my library here. And I tried to put the book down. I said, wow. But then, we have approximately, these are guesstimation, we have approximately 500,000 Liberians scattered in the diaspora. I'm talking from Europe, maybe it could be million, but I'll keep the number very conservative, maybe around 500,000 Liberians in the diaspora. These 500,000 Liberians, they make anywhere from, at a minimum, average $45,000 a year. That's what the average person makes in this country, in Europe, in Australia. And my thinking was, if I can get 25,000 of those 500,000 people, or if I can get 30,000 of those 500,000 people, we form an organization. We register the organization here in America, which I've done. We register it with the federal government, which I've done. We register all the regulatory agencies, which I've done. And then we pool our resources. We set up the board of directors. We found Liberia best and brightest minds, and then we go back to the country to formulate small-scale manufacturing, and then gradually we transform Barclayville, we transform Foya, we transform Zwedru, and then gradually we can begin building Liberian middle class through private entrepreneurship or through private enterprise, and then we can force the government. We can select from a better pool of Liberians to go to the legislature. We can train better judges and better. All of this is being pushed by the private sector, and then we can improve the government tax base. This was the entire intent of the corporation. This is where it came from.
This is where it came from. Were there any apprehensions when you started this process? I wonder what would have happened. How far can I go stuff like that. We are human beings, and sometimes challenges come based on things that we get involved. I don't usually like consultation. Too much of consultation becomes a dream killer because there are some, oh my man, don't waste your time. Oh, you're not, you know. So very few before I share notes with people, I must trust you and confide in you. Was there any apprehension?
A lot. And you're asking some really deep questions here. I don't want to say this. Mr. Toll asked some great questions, but you are going.
Don't bring Toll here.
No, but listen now. Listen to me. I want you to listen to me. You're asking questions that digging into the intuition that I got. There were a lot of hesitations. In fact, I spoke to some people, and I will not mention names here tonight. They say, "Mami Dwalu," I'll tell you that nothing going on in Liberia. Liberian people are not listening. Liberian people can get tall. I didn't want to believe that. Let me tell you why I don't believe that. Here's the reason why I don't believe that. And this is empirical. I'm not just saying this out of just saying this. And I actually did the research. I want you to look at us that came from Liberia. If you put Liberia in a structured environment, we excel. I had a vascular surgeon out of Chicago. He's a Liberian. He called me. He said, "Mr. Dwalu, I saw what you're trying to do. We're going to come on board. I will get back to you." I had lawyers who were Liberians. I had financial experts. They called and said, "Dwalu, we will get back to you." But there was a lot of Liberians that are hesitating. They said, "Mr. Dwalu, my man, Liberian people thinking go well. It always chakla, this and that." I am afraid. I am heavily afraid that if this falters in any way, Mr. Soul, if this goes to the wayside in any way, this is why I'm being very meticulous about everything that I do, because if this fails, if there's any kind of brouhaha comes out of this in a way where, quote unquote, a chakla, it will kill our people in ways. I don't mean physically, but I'm talking about their encouragement to join something of this sort going forward. So I'm being very meticulous. I'm trying to do everything I can to make sure that we are capable of doing something that is far greater than ourselves. And it takes some grit, it takes some tenacity, it takes some force, it takes some organization, and it takes some commitment. And that commitment has to be done by all of us. My job here is, as the person who, quote unquote, has the vision for this and pushing this vision forward, I have to be as strong as I can be. The only hesitation that I have right now is to find a way to literally leave my job and commit 100% to this, because I believe it's the quickest way for this to succeed. You know, like every one of us, you get up 5 a.m, you get to work, you don't get back home until 8 o'clock. This is squeezing a lot of time. If I had a commitment, I've written to my government, and I told them what we intend to do to budget the effort of the administration, whatever way, and that they can come in and help us to be able to hasten the process of raising this money so we can begin the industry. Look, Mr. Soul, our brothers back home are dying. Our sisters are dying. The family is being dissolved because there is no job. The government can maybe hire 30, at the most 40,000 people across the country. Yes, they can balloon the payroll to 60, 70,000 people, but truthfully, the country is too small to get more than 30,000 employees. But the private sector has unlimited capacity to literally hire the 2.8 million Liberians that are of working age in the country. It has that capacity, and the opportunities are there. Our job now is to make Liberians see that opportunity so we can suspend our economy, create local Liberian millionaires, not allow foreigners to come to the country and take our lunch and take it back to their country. The corporation aims to do this.
I intend to make this conversation more interactive, to put a rest to all of the apprehensions, including myself and many others, because, and I know that some questions will be repetitive because you have answered these questions.
That's
and
good.
You have continued to answer these questions over and over. At the same time, in the meanwhile, you are at liberty, if you cease not to answer the question here. We treat people fair and balanced. We're going to open these lines here very soon so that the real-time Liberian people, so that we can just be only the talking heads here. And I know I see this as a very big vision. I like to think big. I see like the emergence of like a Facebook when Zuckerberg started. Bezos, before leaving from Amazon, these people, I read the story of Dunkin' Donuts, the guy just from my how you call construction site, you know, just took one little frying pan and people fell in love with his mind. He became innovative and said, wait a minute, There are so many construction sites in this country, in towns, little towns, big towns. Why not expand this? So when I see people, especially follow you for a while now, with this sort of state, I'm like, oh, this is another tie young Jeff Bezos or Zuckerberg or Bezos. And this is why I was so absurd. And when the liberal was asking that kind of age and that, but I'm not going to go there. Now, the society we deal with today, whether in the diaspora, in the US, Liberians directly, indirectly have hurt people, hurt them in so many ways, in so many forms. That's one of the things we don't do too much of cash out business here. Because people took advantage of people's of their benevolence as Liberians and confide into other Liberians who wants to do something. And at the end of the day, it goes downhill without no answer. Now, convincing those sort of people, reflections, flashback will comes into play. 2 years ago, the other one came. 3 years ago, Mr. Diskin, and give themselves all sort of code name that people cannot easily decode. But we will try to decode everything that we can here. Now, how do you communicate, Mr. Dwalo, and the people? That's your name, and I will keep calling that name. It seems to be the touch. How do you intend to put to rest those that have this sort of apprehension?
Their apprehensions are legitimate. They're justified because our experience tells us so. I want people to understand this, though. One thing that people have done in the past, people go to Gala Susu with no regulations. They put it into Paflomo here, Paflomo hold the Susu. Next thing you know, Paflomo, something happens, and Paflomo, that money goes away. This is entirely different. This is a regulated corporation here in America. I have to report to the state of Massachusetts annually. I have to report to the federal government. I'll go to good jail if in any way, shape, or form, if I mess around with anybody's money. This is not my money. This is not even my operation. Tomorrow, my brother and Mr. Soul can be the presidency of the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. The goal is to build something that we control. So I understand your apprehension, but I'm going to say this. This is what I tell people. Vet us. Go on the Secretary of State website, the state of Massachusetts. Go through the process. We have written to other agencies across America. Right now, I got over 4 different agencies, regulatory agencies that we have registered with, and we are trying to reach out to as many as we can to make sure we cover every single basis of this. The money that is being raised is never going to be touched by Dwalu until the board of directors are set up, until the rest of the quarter offices are hired, and then we would do this collectively. We would decide what to invest in through a vote by the shareholders. So this is entirely different. This is not money that I'm taking and keeping under my mattress. This is money in an account. Anybody who wants a copy, they can request a copy at any time to say, oh, Mr. Dwalu, obviously we will have people's names that pay, but if you want a copy, we'll send a copy to you. How much is in the account? So then you're a shareholder. We are on our obligation to send it to you. And you can see it at any time. So nothing will be hidden from the shareholder. We intend to be as transparent as day and night because we believe if we can reassure our people that the intention here is not nefarious, that the intention here is to build something that we all can see, touch, and hold. And then we can leave Liberia in a better place to our children than we met it. That would give me great joy. So our intent is pure and it's entirely legal.
Entirely legal. I always like to go behind the rail line to think way ahead. We don't know who is the real Messiah at this point in time. People came and labeled themselves as fighters, freedom fighters, liberator, whatever name, and at the end of the day, those names, whether they have disappeared, history tells it all. But let me ask you, you lately or prior to the elections, you were heavily involved in the politics of Liberia.
Correct.
You were vocal. You said things out of your own convictions, considering what was happening. Mm-hmm. But we have a volatile society where people only each and everyone protect his or her own alligator, like I always told my guys here. In the process, you took some critical decision that you believe was the right thing. In the same entrance, other people felt, what he was saying in their own thinking, in their own opinions, they don't see it that way. Yeah, you are thinking much bigger and all of that. Those people, you owe them an explanation. How can you navigate through those sort of points and dwell of yesterday during the heat of the elections, who were very much vehement and forceful on issue, is now trying to soften the place and telling people, hey, this is what I want us to do, which is an extraordinary good vision. That for the most part, I yet to get all of the details, but I've been going through, peruse your website, following it, seeing a lot of authenticity, and the explanation provided are legitimate. But there are others who are still looking on the back wall and still looking back to bring flashback into reality.
Correct. Mr. Soul, the question is not just fair, it's necessary. And the very people that will ask that question, I want to reverse that back to them and say, did you support somebody as well? We all supported somebody. I will not deny that I vehemently, forcefully supported Honorable Boubacar to become president of our country. I believe he was the candidate that was most winnable. He was the candidate that could see what was happening to the country. Now, how he's governing, that's a whole nother conversation that can be held. And those people that say, oh, Mr. Dwalo, you took a position. Yes, I'm a citizen of Liberia, and I can take a position as I so please. But this is beyond politics. After politicking, it's time to build. Now, when people are sore or maybe they're hurt because you did not support their candidate, I cannot go back and try to appease them. I'm not that kind of person. I take a position and I firmly stand in that position because I believe it was right. My thing is, if I took a position on a character that tarnishes my reputation in terms of moral, etc., that's something we can discuss. But a political position, I don't believe anybody should be held for their political position to the extent that when you see something great for our country and the only thing you counter is you took a position that was contrary to mine, then I say, well, it is what it is. One thing I do know, Mr. Soul, other than maybe 500,000 Liberians in America, not everybody will support this. Some people will tell you flat out, because I did not start this, I'm not going to support this. Or because if this succeeds, Mr. Dwalo, people will know him, or maybe this will do this. No, it's not about me. All of those, I understand it. But my political position was exactly what it was, a political position.
Political positions.
Yeah.
Does this have a long-term political intent or strictly business?
This is strictly 100% business. There is no political intent. However, like you said rightfully in the beginning, remember what we are trying to do to the country and the kind of country we are coming from. We intend to do four things. And those of you who are listening, if you're in New England, I encourage you to go to Eventbrite, the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. Check it out, buy a ticket, reserve your seat. Four things. Number one, we intend to make our shareholders money. That's primary. Number two is to create a massive amount of jobs across the country. If we ready to do this, and a lot of jobs are being created, people say, oh, Mr. Dwalo won't run in my district. So it may have a political slant to it, even though that's not my intent. Number three is to have economic influence in the country. And it's almost difficult to distinguish sometimes between economic influence and political influence. So they will say, oh, this has some form of influence. And number four is to get Liberian expertise back to the country. So in that way, it may have a political slant to it, but for me individually, I have no political intent that I know of right now. But like any Liberian,
anything can happen.
Correct. No, anything can happen, but I have no intent right now about that.
Yeah, okay, and I just think that we just dash all of this on the table. We are human beings. No one is stagnant. People are involved. But you know, these things, we're being around. We're seeing these things. People start with it. By the time that I start blessing all the next thing, petitions coming from 3%, 4%, Dwalo can be senator, Dwalo can be representative. Then it becomes some sort of stuff here. Okay. So,
let me say this. You just said something. I'm never interested in senator or representative position. I believe I cannot change Liberia through the Senate legislature.
Because like I said, I know there were things I was talking. There's a lot of stuff you wrote, and you took a position which was great, and more or less you were all for maintaining clean city to get things done, blah blah, all of that, which of course very good. We all want healthy society. I'm like, oh, with this guy being very forceful, I hope they were given the opportunity to see how he can perfect some of these great ideas from our cities. Hearing this here seems to mean the game of politics, the conversation of politics will more or less likely be diminished, correct?
The conversation about politics will be diminished?
Yeah, what are you gonna slow it down, or are you gonna still be
no, entirely not diminish, halter entirely. I don't going for look, Mr. Soul, we have a polarized society, a society that there is no game in town. The only game in town is government job, because people see the livelihood through government job. And if you're trying to do this and you try to talk politics, you're going to diminish this. So no, zero politics for me going forward. Not just 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. There's no zero politics for me to help build this corporation. At that time, no politics. No. If I'm answering these questions to provide clarity, because of my past political leanings, etc. But people must understand this. I'm not worked in government ever. Nobody in my family has ever worked in government. So, but we took a political position because we are citizens of Liberia. And I think every Liberian citizen has that right to do that. That doesn't take away from you in any way, shape, or form. But we will say this, going forward, our focus is the private sector. It's always been the private sector.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good we have this we have this sort of conversation, and there's reasons I know I listen to Kettle, and we have some conversation in the back here, all of that, because we have a polarized society. People, we don't let things go. It's not like the politics of the Western world here.
Yeah,
someone who want to be senator, president there, who is not even there. Instead of them focusing on what they will do, they will start focusing on somebody. Well, let's see that one you want now. And you can't. It's not like here in the West that you can even fight and win government so easily. It's not like that. You're not going to win any African government. It's good that we're having this conversation here. Let's permit me to show this here. This is your web. I want to be more illustrative to our people. What you see here is Europeans, blah, 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 the Liberian Diaspora's Social Investment Fund. I mean, you see the website here, everything lay out what we do, who we are. You see the news here, knowledge, and all of that here. So this is quite impressive. You see here a lot of different. I mean, it's so much shit. This is you really put in time, invested quite a bit of time to get this done, correct?
A lot of time, a lot of money to get this set up. Mr. Soul, I'm not worried about the time. I'm worried about what we can produce on the back end for Liberia. The time has to be put in. Look, any great thing requires certain high degree of commitment. Anything that has happened. In the beginning, you talk about the Elon Musks of the world, the Mark Zuckerbergs and the Jeff Bezos of the world. These guys are making billions, even $9 trillion of dollars. A lot of time was put in the beginning. People must understand this. For every successful venture you see, there are 10,000 failures before that venture actually becomes successful. And what we've done in Liberia, we are now willing to commit the time to birthing something that could transform the country. And I've made a commitment to myself, to this family, to my family, and say, listen, we have to put in this time and we have to do something to transform the country. So yes, we put in a lot of time. We still have a tremendous amount of time to put into this. I try to spend anywhere from 3 to 4 hours every single day on what I do regarding the fund, the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. And we will continue to put in this time because it just requires time and commitment and money to doing this. This is the only way around this. There's no other way.
This is the only way. Okay, like I said, I intend not, because we want to be having a conversation, but we want to give every time we come on these sort of conversation, new viewers, new followers, and all of that. We want them to take away something, and the only way they can do that is to allow them to participate in the process by asking For me, I don't see any questions. I don't see no stupid questions. Whether you can tell it, you take the one to be to the front, you bring it to the front go to the back come in the middle. Question is questions. I'm waiting to hear what the end of the questions. That's what I determine. So, folks, if you are listening, I'm Afonso Zienso, and this is, I think, I want to encourage everybody to have an outlet to give you the opportunity, so that we'll hear from you.
Yeah.
So we'll be held accountable.
Yeah.
And from what we see, I see it. That's how, like I said, I remember I was just telling you, one of my co-worker manager, when this whole Facebook then started, he came and told me, but we like, bro, water down anything. Oh, as soon as God told me, I said, my man, please, John, don't. I'm going to put my money in something. Guess what? Few years down the road, this guy, nothing he puts inside there that much, not more than even $1,000. And he walks away with something significant that he no longer doing what he joined us. So I'm like, oh, amen. If I knew, but I decided not to take risk. And the life we live today is all about risk because nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Before you go to the guy, and it's a great story. It's a great story. Look, the share price is $90. It'll cost you $10 processing fee. I want you guys to imagine this. If we can raise to $25 million, imagine this. We go to Liberia, we take $10 million, we organize, we invest into rice production, hypothetically speaking. We are importing massive amount of food into the country, close to $200 million worth of food into Liberia every single year. Let's assume we only capture 10% of the rest market, 10% of the rest market. And let's assume the rest market is $100 million. That's $10 million. So the first year we invested $10 million, what we invested into these warehouses, into the machinery. Those machinery can last for 20, 30 years. They come into the country. Your $90 share now, maybe the year one, maybe it grew by $50. We expand the operation. We invest into a flour mill. We invest into, let's say, a large-scale fishing farming, 7 fishing boats. Now, next thing you know, you got a share price that's $1,000 for each share price that you bought at $90. The goal is to create this kind of effect in the country. But remember, our aim is to breathe life into the Liberian economy. The focus cannot be entirely on government. This can only be done by Liberian citizens. Look, the multinational corporation, they're transients. They're just passing through. They're there to expand their profit margins and they take it back to their home country. I don't blame them. When people come in and say, oh, B Mountain or AGM Go or Meta Steel did this, I look at them and cringe because they don't understand the issue of business. They're profit-seeking entities. They don't care about you to the extent that you care about yourself. Only we Liberians will transform this location. We can continue to stock or continue to fly to the Ghanaians for medical treatment when we can build the Liberian diaspora hospital. The Liberian diaspora bank through the corporation. I am not suggesting all going to be done in 1 year, but in 10 to 20 years, we can build a massive corporation in the country through these funds, and all the shareholders can begin to gain something. And this is the aim of the corporation, so we can have some clout in the country that we control. We control through economics. And this is the vision, Mr. Toll. And I hope our people call in any question. Like I just got a question, the guy said, I hope this is not one sentence speed. You come in here, you try to steal. This is a legitimate question. Don't water down your question. Ask the question directly.
Exactly. And I mean, I was just waiting. I was going to put it there to get a reaction. We don't hide anything. Look, I'm not going to be like the liberal who tried to pour something in a glass bottle and then he leaves and then he, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm just going to ask you. You're going to be with respect. And that's why I say you are at liberty if you choose to answer and not to answer. Yeah. And the person put that there because, other people get good. People have that sort of retention, good memory. And sometimes people tie people with other people based on association of different things. So he's one of those. Is it an old one coming in a new bottle or is it another creation? Those are valid questions. So let me put this number out here, and I say we intend to make it more interactive here. I'm not going to be the one to be the mouthpiece myself. I'm considering being part to invest into it, and like he prove himself the way he said. That's why. But call 682-433-8802 to ask Mr. Dwalo and the people of the library.
Any question.
So, but yeah, while we wait for callers here, Liberia tends to, the country Liberia is tend to be a sort of big beneficiary in terms because I've heard you saying more or less everything is Liberia. Do you intend to have this sort of elaborate conversation as well inside Liberia to have a conversation and explain to your vision to the entire in the
Yes, absolutely.
Caller, hold on 1 second. I want him to respond, then I can.
Yes, we have the chief operating officer Fatima is on her way to Liberia. Myself, I have to go to Liberia very briefly, and we have to include our people on the ground. Like I said, 99.9% of the money we raised here will be invested in Liberia. The corporate headquarters will be in Liberia. So yes, we intend to include Liberians on the ground, and we are making preparation to organize to be able to include them adequately. But it costs money to do these things. So as we raise a little bit more fee, we will try to organize for the Liberian location as well. So yeah, absolutely, yes.
Okay, before I go to the caller here, I want to get this strictly out of my chest here. I did hear you saying zones, right? You're going to have what zone? So my question here is, I want to be as clear and you as well in this conversation. Monrovia is not Liberia. The mindset of, I say Monrovia alone is not Liberia. And this is one of the things in the 80s, I believe this conversation started when Doe, in politics came in where they were considering removing the capital with the hope of decentralizing the functionaries of government to avoid the city being crowded as it is. So if I hear you like a zone, more or less, you are taking this to the people and decentralize the diaspora sovereign funds equity throughout the length and breadth of the country so that the people will know are coming from way grand, the day the Rose Bowl, I need to come to Monrovia to do whatever, but or you have a region that is much accessible. Is that a vision?
Yes, the vision is part of the vision. I want people to actually check out the site. So listen, we've divided the country into 5 economic zones. I'll give you an example. The southeastern region of the country has certain business enclaves in there that we will fight to expand. I'll give you an example. From Barclayville, Sarno, Grand Cru, Grand Jita, and they're coming into Riverside. That entire zone, it could be a large-scale fishing industry, or we can start coconut production or the coal-making industry. So most of this coconut husk, if you went to Walmart here in America, most of the coal that we buy during the summer to cook our meat is made in a factory. It's a strudel machine. You put that in the southeast. As you're making coconut oil from these, you're taking the coconut husk and you're actually processing to make coal. So instead of cutting the trees down, so that entire zone, maybe it focuses on fishery and it focuses on coconut oil production, for example. Maybe the Bong and Lofa region, maybe over there it focuses on farming, but then the central region of Monrovia, Kakatan, maybe parts of Bomi is small-scale manufacturing. And over time, that manufacturing can be expanded to the heart of the country. So like I said, these zones, we will fight to make the economic hub. And each location will specialize in certain operation to make sure that happens. But remember now, the corporation doesn't intend to go in and do all of these at one time. We will pick one operation, the shareholder will vote on it. We try to perfect that over 1 to 2 years, and then maybe we include another venture. So over time, we add more venture to the corporation. Maybe in time, the corporation has maybe 20, 30 businesses within its portfolio. That's what we intend to do, Mr. Soul.
Okay, great. So let's get this line quickly activated so that the people will ask their question to Mr. Dualo and the people. Let's see who's 203 number 684939037. Good evening, caller.
Hey, good evening, brother. So, and this is Wilson. And good evening, caller. How you doing, Dualo?
What's up, brother?
Hello.
Yeah. You go ahead.
So, Mr. Su, you asked a question concerning Dualo's past connection on his advocacy for this unity party government. He was one of those people that stood in the vanguard and brought this unity party government to the limelight. The organization that he's put together is for all diaspora and for all Liberians everywhere in the world can participate. I think he posed a question here concerning, what can he say to people that differ from his view as far as the politics concerned. But for me, my concern is two of his first two members of his organization, because there are only three now that I know of. It's Tualu, Asifa Tupa, and Fatima. The three people, three of them were strongly opposed to the CDC-led government, and they are the first three. How can he convince all Liberians who have a different view from his political view that this whole thing is not a unity party thing, is not political, that this thing is border politics, which he got only these two as his assistant working with him, not including anybody from the other side or maybe from the former ruling establishment or other Liberians who played neutral role, and we got two other people that was seen on Facebook advocating and for this regime. Because it's something that we want to succeed. For me, I wanted to succeed. I don't want it to fail. I want to really succeed. But when other people, because my mind is open, I'm thinking, it's a good thing for everybody, a good thing for Liberia, but for some of us, some other people, they will say no. And I gave an example the last time with Wilfred Russell. It's a good thing for Liberia to be represented in Minnesota, but the Liberian people in Minnesota saw it different. The ones that support CDC, they saw it different. They said he voted him because he was somebody who spoke against the CDC government at the time. And so they said he voted for it. So Liberian politics is so dangerous to the extent where we do not see anything good coming out as long as you're not supporting them, so you're not on the other side. That's why I think to be neutral, stop the politics. But how will he move forward now? Because there's a question people ask me. I tried to talk to people about it to be part of the thing, and they were asking
let me answer it, brother, quickly.
Yeah, so let Dwala speak to it. Go ahead.
It's a simple answer, my brother Ketor. Let me say this. This is not a government operation. The government has absolutely nothing to do with this. Anybody, we want to recruit the first 7 quota officers. If the next 4 people are all CDC, I will be glad. We are not recruiting based on your political affiliation. We are going to recruit based on the qualifications that are required to be able to make sure this is successful. If I have a bunch of seditionists that want to be a part of this, I will be openly glad to bring them on board. Anybody else can come on board. We did not bring these people on board because of the political affiliation. We never thought about it to begin with. It was just proximity. I see myself when I was been to, I said wanted to come on board. I said, join me. Let's do this. Fatima join me, because in the beginning it was expensive to set this, so I was funding everything. And then Fatima and Asi came on to help me fund the startup cost of this. And that's the only reason why. But we still need to hire 4 more people. We need to hire 100% of the board of directors. Like I said, the formulation, if you read the article of incorporation, it is sitting there. So it's got nothing to do with politics. But if seditionists, for example, feel that way, let them push forth some people. Say, Mr. Dwalu, we have some brilliant seditionists that can join this effort. Let them come and join us. We are open to that. Any organization, we are open to this. So it's not restricted to anybody of any kind. It is apolitical. Better so.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. And so, like I said, the sole purpose of this is to engage the people, because they're going to be more or less the transmissions of the conversation that we are having. So I went on LPR, listened to Dwalo, my doubt, my apprehensions were put to rest. And I like how you're answering the questions, give people the answer. But we have what I would say here. And Liberian, look, we got to be, I see this as a very, very good, huge innovation on the part of Dwalo to do what we're doing while we are still having this sort of conversation to put it to rest. But the history of Uber, Gary, this guy who was just struggling how to get a taxi, he decided to experiment. And you see, the people that make use of, when something comes to mind, they utilize it. So for now, yes, we ask this guy, we all want to have to beat him up with some question.
Yeah, I'll put Mr. Tony Sparks' question up, and this is a valid question.
Yeah, Tony.
Question. Let me answer it.
I'm here. So that's what we're going to do both. If you want to call, fine. You want to write monitoring the screen, and we're going to put a question It is not me to answer it. It is Dwalu going to be answering that question.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling them about this Uber, the whole existence of Uber 2019, 2009.
Yeah.
Somebody just went through difficulty getting taxes and just put his brain to work and decided to do it.
And the idea was rejected for about 3 years. Nobody will buy the idea.
Exactly. Now you're using your own car. He making money on it, but at the same time you're surviving. Let's go to Tony question here.
Yeah.
Dwalo, how can we trust your judgment with our money when you left a well-successful and established businessman, Mr. Cummings, and went to support a man who have never built anything in his life? I don't know who's the person that he is referring to who never built anything. How will you guarantee that our money won't go down to the drain and then come back to apologize later? Dwalo, this is Tony Spot.
Yeah, Mr. Spot, thanks for the question. I hope you called to actually ask that question, but I'll say this to you. Please, do not look at political decisions as the same as business decision. Number two, there are no guarantees in investments. None whatsoever. I would not come here and tell you on the show, say, I guarantee you this. If anybody who takes your money for investment guarantees you anything, they're lying to you. And I don't intend to lie to you. I want people to go into this with open mind. Mr. Cummings was a candidate that have almost near zero chance of winning. You don't go into a battle to lose. We made the commitment to Honorable Bouaka because we believe he had a better chance of winning. He served the country for so many years. He was an older man. My judgment was he had the best opportunity because he understood the intricacy of government at the time to come and transform the country. How he's governing now is for you to decide whether it's right or wrong. We made a political decision. And the political decision cannot be attributed to me personally to say, oh, Mr. Dwalu, you brought on board or you voted for Mr. Trump. So any decision Mr. Trump makes, you're responsible, or you voted for Biden. That's not how it works. And I understand how sometimes we have found it difficult to divorce political decision from a personal decision that they make. You are a Liberian citizen. You made a decision to support Mr. Cummings. Something, if you don't know this, by the way, I supported Mr. Cummings from the beginning. I was a big ardent supporter of Mr. Cummings from the beginning. But the issue here is we cannot continue to focus on politics because politics have not helped us. My decision now is to focus on entrepreneurship, enterprise, and let's see if this option is more viable. If you want to dwell in saying that I supported Mr. Bouaka, and I'm proud that I supported Mr. Bouaka, President Bouaka rather. I'm proud that I did that. We now have to push him to make the right decision for the country. We cannot keep going back. If you believe this venture is not good because I supported Mr. Bouaka, this is a decision I will allow you to make. I cannot make that decision for you. By the same token, I will present the ingenuity, I will present the options, and then we collaboratively, we can come together and build something for Liberia. That's what I want to say to that.
Yeah, and I think another versions, if capture a war 2 years, people support people, and part of that was to create job opportunity and have a vibrant economy. And so maybe if it is not progressing as we or other poverty, he found an alternative. Okay,
Mr. Soul,
invest into private sector, and that's
what the Pape told me. That's one of the reasons why I supported Honorable Bouaka. He said, "Walu, if we come to power, we will expand the private sector." And if anybody who follows Spoon, that was my thing every single day about the private sector. And one of the things that won me over was because he said we can find a way, put a group of people, group of professionals together to see how we can expand the private sector. And that excited me because it was about jobs for the younger men, for the younger women to keep Liberian families together. And I said, well, you know what, wrong? Mr. Cummings could also do this as well. But what are the chances of Mr. Cummings winning as opposed to Mr. Bouaka winning? The option was very clear. Political decisions are not regular decisions. They are decisions based on several factors. And I made that one very proudly, and I still support it, by the way.
And part of that, I think part of that to enhance, to have a vibrant economy, and that's why you put in other alternatives. So that's another good talking point. Let's go to this number here, one of our regular follower, Lion Te Nyakun, Te Lion. Let's hear you, Lion Te Nyakun. What's your question?
Thanks very much for taking the call. Well, greetings to Liberian people, and I would love to greet Mr. Dwalu in the studio. I'm Teddy Lion Nyakun. I'm calling from Fargo, North Dakota. Well, absolutely, Mr. Dwalu. This initiative is very, very essential for the Liberian people and for Liberia. It's a very good idea, absolutely. But I have a problem with it. With you and your chief operator, operating president, the lady, Fatima, including
Asif Atuba.
Two of you, yeah, Vatopa. Two of you guys, you initiated this program on Spoon Talk based on the support you guys want to give to workers' government. You said the government cannot fail, so you're going to, governors and people based on this economic initiative, which absolutely was going there. We're going to be very, very, this is why the new Liberia, we should always put politics aside when it comes to these kind of noble things. But this, my brother, let's call on the show, and he catch up instead of good point. You know, well, you're big on President Weah, the CDC.
Can you get to the question? People calling the CDC.
Question gets on CDC and refuse to carry on this kind of support in the countries of in power. You went against it bitterly. But now, what is in power, despite the most corrupt government in power, you are trying to govern the Liberian people economically to support these ideas. I'm not saying asking people on sedition not to support it.
What's your question?
It's not very question. Just make a statement.
Okay.
Okay, let me respond to that statement because it was heavy loaded. And my brother, I will appreciate, guys. You call into the show, get to your question. Let's answer the question. Number one, you don't know who I am. The government has absolutely nothing to do with it. This is by the people of the Republic of Liberia. Number two, I personally invested more money in Liberia under President Weah than I did on any administration. Let me repeat. I invested more money in Liberia under President Weah than I did on any president. It was not about who was in charge. Just because we have diverging political view, it doesn't mean we don't both want our country to succeed. And the issue here is, look, guys, I have to stay away from the politics. And I understand there will be some sore spots. But if we keep dwelling on this, and the issue now is, well, you beat on President Weah and you didn't support Mr. Cummings or you didn't support the other person. So I don't know if this is your decision. It's a free country. You have the right to make that decision. But to suggest that I have to do what you said in order to be agreeable, I think then you're pushing it too far. Because if I told you that I want you to do what I tell you, then I'm being wrong as well.
All right, let's go to other caller here. Thank you so much, Lion Ted Nyakon. Let me go to this other number. Your caller, are you there from 8, I believe 81 something? Are you there, caller? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, good evening, Mr. Saul.
Yeah.
Brother Dualu. Hey, greeting.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh.
Okay. What's your name again?
Dr. Carter.
Oh, Dr. Dr. Balada. Good evening. How are you?
Hey, grace and peace to you, man.
Okay.
Happy Sunday.
Okay. It's what a blessing to you this evening. So let's hear you.
Mr. Dualu, I think it's a laudable initiative. I'd love to get some insight. I'm interested in investment in Liberia for the future of the generations unborn and even the current are predominantly pretty young, between the ages of 15 to 25.
Yeah.
I just returned from Liberia. We're trying to build a university up there. But I'd like to get further insight if there is a possibility that one can be able to get a number directly.
Yeah.
I watch you guys from time to time, irrespective of my business schedule up here in Pittsburgh. But I think the challenge, investment and politics are two different things. But the Liberian pathology has always been rooted and grounded in the mindset that has kept us behind.
Right.
I think today is Sunday. I want to be as clear as possible. And if there's going to be a reawakening, it's now or never. Liberians need to rise up to the true meaning of the creeds.
Yes, sir.
What is blackness? There's a great assault on blackness. And many of us who are in community workers, social workers, those of us who are in the churches, who advocate for the poor and the weak, I think a lot of us need to be concentrating now about what is it that Liberia needs. There's an incredible potential for the land to be strengthened as we begin the rebuilding process, which has already started. What is it that we need to do together? The challenge has always been we do not work in block as compared to our brothers and sisters who come from the eastern part of Africa,
Yep.
or from the southern part of Africa. And I think it comes from our orientation. We dive on trivial stuff all the time. We need to look at the nitty-gritty of the issue and be able to attack and deal with it.
Yeah.
There are problems and issues in society, but you must have people who have diagnosis, who clearly know the subject matter and what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think that is what's lacking in Liberia. We need to gravitate more to the common good. What is needed for the sustenance of the society? What is needed to develop it? What is needed to strengthen it? Now, you guys who are in politics, I hope y'all can be able to send a message to the deacon who is in power, Brother Borkai, who come from the same county, but that's not important. What matters is Liberia is the least common denominator, is what we all share.
Yes,
Where
sir.
the maple strains are buried. We are in this part of the world playing significant role, building communities. Some of us just want to give back.
Yeah.
If the opportunity is created. So the mindset in terms of investing in a capital fund that is related to that, what I would suggest is, even as we do this, to also begin the conversation in terms of what is it that the government of Liberia, that we pay taxes to, that we can challenge to be a part of this particular process, in terms of if there's a capital fund that it will be able to put up to those in the diaspora community. That look, this is what the generation capacity annually, this is what the government is raising. The government will set aside a fund like this, that we can be able to take loan and do other investment in terms of what this capital fund is intended to do. And I'm hoping that you have a number that we can be able to reach to.
Yeah.
And, I'm seeing the number here, which is, I'm going to copy it down, 774.
So, yep. That's it. That's the corporation's number. That's the website, and the website for the corporation as well. But the doc said a few things, and I really want to address this. And Doc, thank you so much for this call. Thank you for this call. We need to find a way to breathe life back into our country. And I understand that some of the questions are valid. I understand it, but I want you to take the totality of the question that you're asking. I want us to understand something, guys. Our country would not be developed if these separation, these little petty things continue to divide us. If we find a way to pull our resources, we can really truly go back to the country. This is something that the Ghanaians have done. The transformation of Ghana was not done the majority by the government. The government just regulated. It was done by the diaspora citizen. The birthing of China was done by the diaspora citizen. Singapore, by the diaspora citizen. You can go on and on and on and on. And we have over $20 billion cap here in America. What are we doing to transform Liberia? Guys, it should not be who is president. Our aim is not to do this. And did I mention something? Yes, we reached out to the government. Look, it costs money to raise money. For every $1 raised in America, it costs anywhere from 10 cents to 90 cents to raise $1. If we have money today, I will quit my job and focus on this 100% to raise this money as quickly as I can to bring some relief to Liberia, to our young men and women, to put them to work. This is serious business. And I know I would get some pushback from some people. But the intent here is for us to collaborate. Everybody else, and somebody asked the question, what are the qualifications? Look, we don't care about qualification to the extent of degree and this and that. I want production, time-tested production, so we can produce something for the country. And that's why we recruit everybody else on the website. The board of directors will be recruited there. We can all vet them together. Because if I did that, it would say it's a Dwalu thing. This is not my thing. Maybe tomorrow, we got Insurmountable Van. He's the president and CEO of the Liberian Diaspora Corporation. Every quarter officers will be determined by the board and by the shareholders will vote on some of these issues. Let's do something together that is far greater than ourselves.
Yeah. And I think I like that. Okay, Dr. Barrett, thank you. Good hearing your voice.
Let me just close on this. I think this is a beautiful conversation. Let's continue it. I have your number. I will try to make contact, hopefully sometime during the week. But yes, I think that's the clarion call. We have an incredible potential. The diaspora has always brought about transformation.
Correct.
From East Asia to Latin America to East Africa.
Yeah.
The examples are there.
Yeah.
And we need to be as genuinely as clear as possible to put aside those previous things that are taking us nowhere. Tribalism, I want to be clear to all Liberians, whatever you are, it's nonsense. It's nothing. It's not taking us anywhere. And I'm not trying to demean what tribe is. You can speak the language. The common and the least denominator we have is Liberia.
Absolutely.
Let's hire the best and the brightest to make sure that we can move that country towards stability, to become a functional member of the Committee of Nations. Blessings, guys.
Thank you.
Good conversation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Barrett. It's great hearing from you this evening. Hope everybody doing okay on your end. Okay, let's go to this number here. Tie 443 number 3356. Caller, good evening. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, good evening, Mr. So. This is Prince Sharif, and I'm calling you from the East Coast. How are you, sir?
Good. Prince, how are you?
Well, I am grateful. Thank you so much for affording me the opportunity to share
the host of what? Is that on the Palava or on top of the Palava?
One of the Palava.
Well, it's under the Palava Hall.
Okay.
It's under the Palava Hall. Yes, sir.
Okay. You're pulling your list. All right, Prince. Good to have you here. Let's hear you.
All right. So, first of all, I want to say thanks to our brother for such, a brilliant idea. But again, there are certain things that we need to point out here. And these are things that we cannot ignore. The first thing that I see is that our brother who had such a brilliant idea, from the very beginning, I think his phase on this particular very brilliant project is going to be a problem because of the political stain that, over the period, he has taken, or his own involvement in the politics and the way he has, discussed the politics of Liberia. So that is one of the things that we need to point out here. I think, he needs to do more in order to be able to, try to see how best he can be able to appeal to Liberians, because
Prince,
immediately that face, yes, sir.
When you said do more, what specific that you want? I mean, I don't ask question more of what? What are you wanting to do?
I think the first thing that he needs to do, especially with this great business adventure, is to try to, disassociate himself from those negative politics. Very simple. Those negative politics that try to divide us, because, he was very, very, very instrumental in making sure that, the CDC as a political institution, to some extent, he contributed towards the, bringing in the Unity Party.
Guilty as charged. Guilty as charged.
You know that. So the first thing that he has to do is to disassociate himself from this negative vices of politics that.
So we already conceded that point, haven't we?
So, Prince.
Yes, sir.
I remember. I think you call on the liberal.
You already conceded that point.
That was one of the things I jumped to here. But again, I think he knows where you're going. I'm not going to be the one to speak to him, but I think,
Mr. Sharif.
Yeah. And the second issue, sir. The second issue is that this particular, very big dream, very wonderful dream that you're talking about. Let us first of all look at Liberia as a country. Look, big brother, so let me put it in a real way for people who are listening to us. One way or the other, all of us are victims. You first of all have a legal system where when those of us in the diaspora try to invest in Liberia by buying our land, people will intentionally eat our money because they know that we are not there, and every day we will not go to the court. I see good as well, forget about that. I mean, America.
The corporation will address some of those.
The court will give you a whole, I don't know, a whole 360 of your story. At the end of the day, you just feel discouraged.
Okay,
so
let's have him to respond quick. I think he knows where you're going on.
Yeah. Mr. Sharif, your point is well taken. We have to realize we all have political position. We got to pass by them. And whatever it takes to bring us together, I'm willing to do it. Like I say, I will divorce myself in the issue of politics. So my brother, Ambula, Mambe, welcome to the show, brother. It's a pleasure having you on. I want to say this, though, Prince. The Liberian Diaspora Corporation has a vision. Part of this vision, I want you to go read our vision page. We here in the West, especially when we have cases back home, one of the things we falter with, because our presence is not there permanently in the country, a lot of time we are taken advantage of. Through the corporation, we can have a legal division where Prince Sharif is in America, he has a legal case. You can go to the corporation to have a legal division. That way people don't swindle you. And they can fight your case while you're on the ground. You pay through the corporation while you're in America. Now you got something representative of us. Remember now, the goal here is to have a permanent presence. You talk about doing business in the country individually. Let me say this to you. One thing you have to understand, individual doing business in Liberia is extremely difficult. But when we go as one fist, we are much stronger because we have a lot more money. We have a lot more things to do into the country, and we are present permanently on the ground. So you have a better chance of success than if you're going individually. Remember, the goal is to build a fist. And I believe collectively we can build a fist. Mr. Sam Wollock, will you call the show? You have a lot of questions. I want to answer some of your questions. Please call the show.
On the last, hello?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead. Tell us something.
Yeah, so to just conclude. So to conclude is this. You have a government, and this is an age-old problem, that is not even interested in promoting the Liberianization policy that is empowering Liberians. So this is a whole fight that in my mind, I think, it will take a lot to be able to ensure that this particular dream comes to fruition. Because take, for example, look at what is happening in Liberia, where you have politicians who are attached to political party are giving preference, and Liberians, who are genuinely there and struggling, like the issue of what happened with the Japanese rice.
Business, not politics.
Because of the political alignment, getting an opportunity of 20%, while genuine Liberians who are there, are kicked under the carpet, and they are not even given the opportunity. So
can you put some of Mr. Willow's questions up, please?
It's not really conducive. The body will have to do more to ensure that this thing is really strong, But thank you for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think Dualo's number is out there. It's good to reach out. This is a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge. I know.
Yeah, this is. And you mentioned something here. It reminds me of, I can remember in the 80s. My sister, she used to work with Rassami brothers, right? Tovata and the Shady brothers and all of that. Those people, they are not family from the same mother's stomach. No. People trusted one another. People decided to make a sacrifice, an ultimate sacrifice. People decided to take the risk. Just the ordinary life journey that we are on. You want to go to school, you get your doctorate. Nothing is guaranteed. Just recently here, may her soul rest in peace. Young Liberian lady just used to be here, just earned her doctorate degree. In less than a month, she passed away. Wow. She died. So that's the kind of journey that we are on. But I think it's something you mentioned, because I want somebody to ask that question. What is lacking in the country with us is the trust, commitment, and we do not put our country first. We're not trusted. And so because most people are not trusted, you can't, witchcraft, no witchcraft. They don't want to be trusted. But until we can have people to prove themselves wrong, of course, it's the same journey in taking risk. That's what I'm saying. Like the Rassami brothers here, they are people from different places and put together, decide to make an investment, decide to invest. Okay, let's put our life family dollar here and see where it goes. So, but again,
Mr. Sam Wallo been posting this question, and Mr. So it's one of the best we answer.
Let me see which one it is here. What?
Yeah, this one. I think he posted this one. It says,
"Is this group seeking to be trusted to manage 25 millions of our people's money? You cannot say you are not worried about qualification. That was not a wise response."
Let me respond to the brother. Mr. Sam Wallo, you misunderstood me. And I want to say this very clearly and very slowly, sir. This is what I said. I said we are not focused on qualification. We are focused on production. It implies experience and qualification. The basis of anything, obviously, is a degree of qualification. We cannot just take anybody to come manage somebody's money. I say it's a PMP has an MBA. Fatima is an Ivy League educated woman. I have an MBA, over 25 years of financial experience as well. Now, I'm not saying let's just focus on what it meant resume, what it meant CV. This is what we're trying to say. I'm focused on what the person can produce. That also implies experience and qualification. So I'm not discarding qualification. This is not what I'm saying. I want to be very, very clear. Obviously, qualifications are very important, but our issue here is to seek out Liberia best and brightest who can produce. You can be highly qualified, but lack the tenacity and the technical know-how to produce. This is not our focus. We want people who've done it, who can come in and be able to turn 1 bag of rice into 10 bag of rice. That's the kind of experience I'm focused on, not a basic book qualification. That's what I was trying to say, sir. So I know you have another question, but if you guys can call into the show, let's put these questions out there. Let's clear.
Okay, number. And I'm going to bring this kind of question is direct, and I don't polish it. Insurmountable is one of our prime time followers here because, and I'm putting it here because these people are already in the prize. I say Isaac Vatoba and Fatumant are very temperamental. I don't know what his measure. And confrontational. Those two people will deprive our problems for this good gesture. You want to respond to that? I don't know how you came up with that.
The thing is, I don't know because I've not known. Everybody get their own characteristics. So I will ask the question: who Liberians who say, "I say it's on board," or "I'm on board"? Well, can they name any Liberian out there that they believe that should be doing this, not us? Would it ever be right? Would it ever be the right time to start? Would it ever, can you pick Mr. Soul would be on without any blemish? If we are going off that track record where the person has to be literally pure from heaven, my requirement would be the person is of high moral character. If your political view denies along with a political view, this is not grounds for disqualification. I want to be clear about that. If the person has a criminal record, obviously they cannot be a part of this, especially at the highest level. If this person has a record of stealing people's money, no. But if this person's political view does not allow, or you say the person is white, and the person say, "Oh, shut up," and that means, guys, we cannot do that. Okay? Have you seen? I've been in so many corporate boardrooms across America. If you know the way these guys talk, you will not want to even give them your money. Where your 401k is, you see this way these guys talk, you would say, "Damn, their temperament is crazy." It's a high-paced environment. But can ASE produce? That should be our most primary question. Can Fatima possibly produce with his chief operating officer position to coordinate this thing? This is where we are coming from. Now, you may have the disagreement. We are not picking people because you like them. We will pick people because they can produce. Because they can produce and they can safeguard the people's money. Now, that will offend some people. I understand that. But our job here is to have a balanced platform where we have Liberians from all walks of life. This is why we are trying to say, listen, let's coordinate this thing. Let's recruit the rest of the officers online with everybody there. Let's recruit the board of directors with everybody there. Because I know anybody you put there, somebody will oppose them. So we got to pick somebody, guys.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's the honest answer I see. Somebody have to initiate. You initiate it. You got to add up to the numbers to see who, first of all, willing to accept the dream, who willing to take the risk, and it is why it is. But I mean, these questions will continue to come. But I'm happy that with the sort of stable in answering those questions. Oh, I answered it last week. I'm not answering it today. So
no!
Another way people testing people. Wait a minute. Let's see. The chief founder or the CEO of this such event. Let's see what tomorrow when members are upset and want to do something, whether he will ask the answer. So guys, and like I said, look, Dwalo, for me and for us here, anything that we make sense of that is good for Liberia, we don't hesitate to have that sort of conversation here.
I agree.
You know, we will continue to, like I said, I just pray, just keep me in a loop. That day, the main date, I've already put it down my calendar. So I want to go there because you got to be part of something, then you will know whether it's real or not. Do I have the number is here? Let me put it back here.
I'll send the Eventbrite poster to you. I don't know if you can post that. I'll send the poster to you, Eventbrite. Reserve your seat. This is a black tie event. Your food is included in the price. Call the number if you don't want to go to Eventbrite. There's a number on. You can call me directly, and we will go through and reserve your seat that way. We have to reserve the seats for the venue to determine how many plate of food to prepare, because the venue is actually preparing. It's a cater event, so it's a black tie event. Get the wife, get your bow tie, get your top level suit. Let's come talk Liberia. We have to elevate our thinking. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be tough. Tough questions will be asked. But like I said, I'm prepared for this. I'm prepared for this. And Asad is prepared for this. Fatima is prepared for this. If you speak to the temperament, I will say, listen, guys, they believe you guys have, your temperament is not all there. We will have that discussion and say, listen, lower your temperament. Understand, we cannot be more confrontational. We can have that discussion. Look, I am willing to do everything short of something that will be out of my character to make sure they succeed. If that means, oh, Dwalo, you talk too fast, slow down. If that means Dwalo, stay away from politics, it's legitimate. I cannot be political and talk about this. I have to be apolitical and move this forward. And know if I have another 4 seditions that meet certain requirements that will be that the shareholders determine this person, we will bring those people on board so long that people can come in and we can improve Liberia. The bottom line is to improve Liberia. I don't care who does it. So long we do it together and we improve our country. This is the target. It's not political. It's about improving Liberia.
Yeah, let me go back here to your number here. I think it's better, folks, try to reach out. Some of the questions might not be all going to be answered here, but this is Mr. Dwalo's number, the website, and that's what you want to do. Sometimes go behind the scene and find out, do your own little research to see why it is. I call him offshore and ask some of the upside down questions and see what his response is going to be like, and go even on the website. It's www.liberia-diaspora-secretariat-fund.com. Go there.
You can buy shares on the website. In fact, we are approaching our first month when we launched. Within the first month, over $80,000 coming already. I've sent out close to 100 share certificates to Liberians across the country and across the globe. We have done. We as I said today again, I printed a few more certificates that I'm shipping out tomorrow. Liberians are actually contributing. Big kudos to the women out there, and thanks for the support. The women are buying and share like crazy. But the goal is we got to start somewhere, my people. It's not going to be perfect. If we miss something, and to my brother Insurmountable Van, great question. I will say, Fatima, I'll say, my man, your temperament, it may hurt the organization. What can we do to tweak it? Or Meme Dwalo, your haircut, your hairline is pushing way beyond. How much can the people? What can you do to put some more in your hair? I'm just being funny a little bit, but you get my point. The goal is we are willing to do what it takes for this to get to where it's supposed to be. And I understand some of the hesitations from some of our people. But if the hesitations are not legitimate, I want you to weigh them yourselves and do something so we can change our country. All in all, we got a responsibility of the highest calling.
Yeah, absolutely. The phone line still open in the next 10 minutes. We're going to have a second segment, more or less community. And that's why it is. The reason we have all of these problems that we are having, people deliberate on purpose or for whatever reason, they do not look in the faces of the leaders or people who are leading and say, this is wrong. Or just raise your finger. I'm not saying you should shout and spit in a person, slapping. No, that's not what I'm saying. You find a quiet time and raise a yes, minister or chief. So was saying in the conference today, but I think you should have been this way. This is right. But everything boss said, okay. So that's the problem.
That's a problem, Mr. So.
And I like your qualifications benchmark here, because we can continue to have the thief people who be in government, doctor, professor, and they are not producing no innovation, nothing, no actual vision that they have, for the country. Before then, they began the same thing. But I think it's time for committed people who are willing to make an ultimate sacrifice, who are trusted. When the CEO say, take this thousands of dollars, you're not going to go there and go create some fake accident. And the accident happened, they carry the money back, only money back, but nothing happened to you.
We'll get him money for it. Give money.
Let's hear you quickly.
Yeah. Thank you for taking the call. Yeah, this is once again Kelly Lion. Well, as I said, Mr. Dwallo, this initiative is very, very important. And I know you are not, thinking or lying. I know I saw you, nationally. Maybe you have a conviction of in that direction of being a revolutionary person to meet up with that zenith of ours. Because it is about Liberia to succeed, and that zenith point is where we taking Liberia next in the stage. Yeah. So I'm interested. I would like to share.
Yeah,
the call.
Thank you.
So today, I will buy a share.
Yeah. And Mr. So, anybody who's listening,
encourage Liberians to.
I will share your number with. Do I have the authorization to share your number with? In fact, do I have the number?
Anybody. This is not even the number. This is a number for the company. This is the corporation's number.
Dwallo is not lying, and this will come to fruition.
Thank you.
We will see. We'll rejoice one day.
Okay. And Mr. So, this is important. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. If you go to the website, www.Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund, you can view the website. Then you can just click. This is not our website, Mr. So. I see you the link.
Oh, that's not here.
No, this is the social. This is another Liberian. This is Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. I'll send you the link.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna just make sure that.
Yeah, I'll send you the link to the website.
Together and put money together like this, it can affect great things.
Yes, sir.
We can stimulate. We can be able to stimulate the other African countries through economic means to put money together and be able to solve one or two major problems. Gradually, we can do this.
Yeah, we can do this.
That initiative, but let us do that. You try to refrain from politics. You have to do this. You want to succeed.
Okay, we gotta go. Thank you so much, Nyako.
If you go on the website, guys, you can view around. We have everything there: the perspectives, the article incorporation from the state of Massachusetts. Everything is there. All the legal documents are there. Our strategy page is there. The perspectives, the contract agreement, everything there. You can just click on buy shares. If you go on the website, it also show how much we done raise and what is the target. So everything is on the website. You click on buy shares, it will take you to a page. You can use Zelle, you can use PayPal, you can use bank-to-bank transfer, you can use wire. We're trying to incorporate the credit card option. We cannot use Cash App and Zelle because they are frequently hacked and they charge a fee. I don't want to charge people additional fee. They will say, oh, do I be charging fee? Even though they're not me. So the options are there to pay. You can also mail it in. On the website, it has the address as well to the corporate headquarters. Everything is there on the website. Check it out.
Yeah, let's get some reaction here. This is Henry Yongo.
Yeah.
Following from my aunt on this awesome Monday afternoon. Okay. Well, where is he? Is it Monday afternoon? Okay, this is a great way to forward for the betterment of us all as Liberians. Let's try to put parties aside and focus on moving our country to another level where we can do things together collectively. I love this word, collectively. One hand can't do it, 2 hands, 3 hands put together. For our peoples and the country, Liberia-centrist guy, we can do it. What a good word.
I agree.
So I think that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm getting a call here. Let's pick this one here. Victor is calling from North Carolina. Victor, good evening.
No, Sam, that's a social.
So,
yeah, let's hear you.
Good evening to Opa.
How you doing, brother?
Dwallo. How you doing, Mr. Dwallo?
How you doing, Chief?
Not much. Thank God. Thank God. I just want to commend you for this, Dwallo. I've been talking to a lot of other friends behind the scene in America here who haven't heard about you. Some of them have been having concern. Oh, why Dwallo is now on Spawn? I say because Dwallo has a very huge tax that he has to perform, so he can be in the midst of politics.
Thank you.
And I just want to end by saying this. In 1990, Liberians in the diaspora raised money to remove a president. In 2025, Liberians in the diaspora are taking another trend. Also, Opa Dwallo, I thank you very much, brother. It's a brilliant idea. We'll support you. We'll do everything we can. In the next 6 years, if we can hit the 25 million, we'll try our best to get to that before 2029 or after 2029 to develop our country. The politicians, we have tried them for so long. It's like take for target among them. We're not going to continue to depend on them to move our country forward. It's about time. The time we take to collect money for Liberians who are safe in Liberia, we can take that time and put our money and invest it into the country to improve the health sector, to improve the road, to improve the airport and other things. So you got us, and we got you as well, Dwallo. Thank you for your hard work.
I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
And I think for now, go ahead, Dwallo.
Look, to the brother, man, big salute to you. I get 10,000 of those calls from across the globe, from across Liberia, and even here. Look, how much money we're paying to go home? The few days here, a whole Liberian posted down the money until your money in the bill. I won't run to Liberia with my children. They're having an April vacation. They might go to Liberia and spend some time there. Even at 1 week, 2 weeks, they come back. The kids don't go to Liberia all the time. We don't have Liberia Airlines. Through the corporation, this can be built. I know some people say, oh, this is a far-fetched deal. It is not. It is not. We have the money. The corporation can start. Even if we raise $10 million, if we don't raise it $25 million, even if we raise $5 million, we will start from somewhere. From somewhere. Let me tell you something. All that came to the people country, is some when I in America we buy a boy in Liberia. I want you to think about that one. When you say 10 share, there are plenty of money, all of this, that, to put our brothers to work. If we start a large-scale poultry business, or we start a massive fish farm, 5,000 acres. We've started a fish farm, poultry farming, 2-3 million chicken. We put 3,000-4,000 men to work. Gradually, we start building something. Look, guys, Mark Zuckerberg knew absolutely nothing about business when he came up with Facebook. Warren Buffett used to put his little opening, I believe, in North Dakota. He used to put a vending machine in people's offices. He started small. He knew nothing about business. You have Jeff Bezos. You have Bezos used to sell books in his own personal garage. Now you got an almost $4 trillion business. A company that I work for right now is one of the regional, with Amazon. $4 trillion operation started in a garage. He knew nothing in the beginning. We will build this together. And as we go along the way, we'll make some mistakes, but we'll have a lot of successes as well. And then over time, we can build something that takes control of our country economically. We cannot be in a country that is 10 times richer than the state of Massachusetts, but 1,000 times poorer, because our resources are not being channeled right. But then yet and still we say we got degrees, we got all this experience, and we are now organizing to go back to the country to effectuate the kind of change that's going to transform Buchanan. That's going to transform Barclayville and Harper. What are we doing with a so-called degree? The only way we can do it, this is how it's been done everywhere. Think about Carnegie. Think about the Rockefeller. Think about the Vanderbilts of this country. The poor resources, they invest into the oil wells. And then they spare and build a massive city down south. They build another city. Most of the cities in America were built literally with a single. Think about any city in America, and I've done the research. Think about any city. If they were not producing milk, if it's not Lewiston, Maine, where they made belts and shoes, if it was not Fall River, Massachusetts, with the textile industry, if it was not Pittsburgh with steel, every single city in America was begun with one industry. And that industry expanded and it built an entire empire. And we can do this similarly. But we got to put our hands together.
Yeah, and this is a two-way street. It has the political implications. It has economic implication. We see people now listening to all in the diaspora, and that's one of the reasons, because we are not making no good investment in our country. Our town villages, we're not carrying little hand pump there. People still going down the creek, but we want to tell them not to vote for somebody who is giving them something. So think about that. If you were in that position, what could be your good rational judgment? Now, with this coming out of diaspora, what could possibly be the argument of our brothers and sisters that say, oh, the people sit down there, they're not doing anything? Because they're not counting your $2,500 because when they wanted to say, I get need naked. $100 naked? You know how many hours other people will I get one naked $100? Yeah, small thing, you know.
Small thing.
Yeah, making such a huge investment, it has a long-term political implication that when people talk directly on the diaspora, say, wait a minute, these people, they will validate our talking point. These people, they get the right to talk. You know how many jobs these people they put together, how many jobs they are created, and that's what I asked that question. I love the answer provided. It will be decentralized, and now the Street cluster to Monrovia area. Other people will be able to, outside of the city, will be able to get involved. Well, again, our second segment is coming on, but look, we are not going to get tired with this.
No.
Some of us are also concluded as proportionally life is a risk. We're going to do that, but all what it requires is to be authentic and bring the best idea. I think Dualo open it up. It's time for everybody to showcase their expertise as to how it can go by forwarding suggestion. So I would encourage people. He has a number. I call him, and at his right timing, don't say we call today. He didn't call you now. He said, "Oh, man, that's real, man." Everybody pushing the hour, so you know.
Everybody pushing the hour.
Call. And at his right timing, he will call you back. And sometimes you can have those sort of conversation off record and see so that you'll be able to make a rational decision. That's what I want to encourage people to do. But Dualo, man, thank you so much. Again, I think I talked to you or something. I will send you a text, remind you. I want you to do that. And we will put you from the end, and that has to do with the functions. We want to give it as enough publicity we can. Prior to that functions, we'll come back here again. Let's have a conversation about it.
And I saw you at the inaugural ball. I wish I were there today to talk to my people a little bit. I didn't realize it was happening in Providence today. I saw.
Oh yeah, my section. Yeah, they had there was some sort of everyday things happening.
I would have driven through, but it was Mr. Soul, man. Thank you. Like I said, I will be making the rounds, and everybody will call. We're going to go continue there. My brother Tony Sparks, great question. Yes, we have some projects on the docket, but remember now, every project we have, we will not become the sole decider of what project we invest into. The shareholders are going to vote. Let me list the first few projects that we are considering. Number one, to invest into rice production in the country, maybe we'll get 10,000 acres. Remember now, the corporation is a living, breathing human being. It functions like a human being. You can sue the corporation can sue you. The corporation can buy land all. So we buy it, we invest into rice mechanization. Maybe we'll put $10 million towards rice. We start small. We build the warehouses across the country in 3 major zones, maybe in Nima, Bong, and maybe in Lufa. And we have 3 processing locations. And I mean, 1 processing location, and we concentrate and we ship for the Monrovia and the rest of the country market. That's number 1. Number 2, we can have small scale manufacturing. Say, for instance, we go into Wapulu, or we go into, let's say we go into Topmanburg. We build a massive Amazon-style warehouse. We bring in 6,000-7,000 sewing machines that can sew these clothes in that we import into the country. We make it right in Liberia. We put 3,000-4,000 Liberian young women to work. These are suggestions. Number 3, we start a flour mill. In some way in Buchanan, maybe cassava flour production. We can put a cassava flour mill somewhere in Buchanan or maybe in Monrovia itself. Number 4, maybe we do cassava consolidation. Everybody in the country will say, listen, anybody who plant cassava will buy it from you. We already have the markets. The Chinese are willing to buy the cassava to be able to do this. We can invest another $3-4 million into building the warehouses across the country, and we consolidate the cassava for export. Number 5, we buy 3-4 fishing boats. Maybe we'll build a hub in Barclayville, a hub in Buchanan, a hub in Monrovia. We send these fishing boats to sea, and these cold storage women process the fish and we ship them for the West African market or possibly the European or the American market. Number 5, we go into commodities markets where from cassava leaf to kitidi to tobagi, all these things we can set up a plant in Monrovia. We process them, we package them, we freeze them, and we export them to the American market. We have these AGO agreement with the Americans. So these are some of the projects we are looking for initially. And then maybe the 7th project, we start small scale manufacturing. So maybe not in Liberia, instead of importing the pempen, we import the pempen and we assemble them first in Kakata. As the expertise grow, maybe we start making the the transmission in Kakatan gradually. The machines are out there now to be done. Everything will begin small, and then gradually we expand the operation. We start creating massive amount of job across the country. And then this is how we grow. We won't groom Liberian millionaires. Yeah.
And I like Tony. Tony Sparks here is a fast thinker and want to make sure get everything out of his deal. Yeah, what would be the ratio of decision making, board of director versus shareholders?
Good question. So the board of director, I'm taking to be seven men and women that will be vetted on the website. I get about 3 people in mind right now to bring them on board. To board of director. Now the shareholders will vote. The board of director, okay, for me as the CEO of the corporation, the way we're working, let's say we pick cassava consolidation. We will do the profitability analysis. We do all the model. We say, well, based on everything we've considered, the profit margin or the expectation for cassava consolidation is 20% over the next 12 months. If we do cassava consolidation, this is hypothetical. I want to be very clear here. We do the model for the cassava consolidation. We come to the board of director, we make our case. The board of director determine that this is great. We come down to the shareholder, we present rice production, cassava consolidation, or small-scale manufacturing. The shareholders will vote on which one to do. Maybe the shareholders say, yeah, let's do rice production first. That's what we're going to do. At the end of the day, the shareholders will determine the ultimate decision makers. However, based on the decision we present to the shareholders, we can guide or not guide them in the direction we want. We say, listen, rice is more profitable right now. Let us do the rice first, then maybe we'll do the cassava or the fishing industry next. This is a negotiation. If you buy 1 share, you get 1 vote. If you buy 10 shares, you get 10 votes. That's how we'll be able to determine it. And then we'll take that money now. We say, cassava, we need $5 million for cassava. How we spend the $5 million is broken down and presented to the shareholders. And that's how we intend to do the 20. That was a great question, though, brother.
Hey, my man, some mama say the Basel man, you know business.
We'll break it down.
Okay. J. Victor Nangwe is that's the last person for the day. Mr. Nangwe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, my brother. How are you?
Let's hear you.
Mr. Nangwe.
Thank you, Mr. Dwello. How are you again, my brother?
How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, thanks. So just 2 quick questions. One is I have heard, a lot of people express concerns over the capacity of our infrastructure, the ability to move a sizable amount of money. I understand infrastructure cannot take I believe the number is around $1 million to $2 million or so. So I'm wondering if you're taking that into consideration,
Yes,
and you made,
Yeah.
preparations for that.
Yeah.
The second question would be, the last time I listened to you, I believe you talked about your initial attempts earlier with the porta potty business, and I'm wondering what happened there, if there's anything that you learned from it to help you as we embark on this venture. Again, I'll take my answers off the air. Thank you very much.
2 great questions. Brother Nangwe, there is a difference knowing that risk exists in an environment, and there is a difference between that and actually knowing the risk and how they function in that environment. The porta potty business taught me in Liberia. To give you very quickly, when I got into Liberia 2008, the first 2 years I struggled heavily. I could barely make $2,000 a month. It was difficult for me because I didn't understand the market, the way the market functioned. Now, by the time the 3rd year came around, the 4th year, some month I would make $60,000. This was a big jump because I knew what to do now. Liberia is a tricky market. If you can navigate that environment, you go ahead very quickly. And the first question you ask is, yes, I learned a lot of stuff from the porta potty business, and I didn't just do the porta potty operation. And currently, I run an operation in Liberia with about 7 employees that I'm running. So you learn a lot in that environment. But the very first question about the Liberian infrastructure, especially the banking sector and how to move money. I want you to understand something. This is a registered incorporated American corporation, the Liberian Diaspora Equity Fund. This is an American company. The way we intend to make the money, yes, we are considered that. And I will encourage you, Mr. Nambo, if you go on the page, see our risk mitigation options that we put together and read through it. And the way we intend to do this stuff is money is not going to be moved because the banking system is not really clothed with how to actually get a lot of money. In fact, in the future, as we grow, we intend to build our own bank, to build a Liberian diaspora bank in the country. Because we want to build that bank, to attach that bank with a Western bank, maybe a bank here in Boston or a bank in New York, to be a conduit of work between us and the Liberian diaspora bank. So we intend to move the money strategically. We're not taking cash to Liberia in the faction that you think. The two banks that are in Liberia, right, the two major banks like the African Bank and UAB Bank, they have connection with American banks here. We intend to utilize the American portion of that bank. Then it will be bank to bank. We are not in between. We are only dealing with the American bank from the American side. So our money is being moved by the American side to the Liberian bank to be able to do our business in Liberia. So we don't trust the system yet because we have to build our own infrastructure to be able to withstand whatever risk come in Liberia. Everything has been meticulously done. This is why we're going to seek out the best minds to make sure how we handle the money coming to Liberia. But we intend to restrict the money heavily here in America, not to Liberia initially.
Okay. Let me see. Is my microphone on? Okay, Mr. Dwalot, thank you so much. Let me see. I think I muted my mic. Hello, you hear me now?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, okay. I muted earlier. All right, we say thank you so much for the taking your time to be with us. Let's continue to have this conversation. It's good for our people, and we will, from our end, we'll do everything possible to promote this. To give you a good conversation, an open and honest one. The more questions I ask, the more answers. We want to move forward. Let's support our own. We got to make our presence.
Let's support us. Let's support us. Don't think about it as dual stuff. Let's support us.
Okay. Yeah. So
let me.
I wouldn't want to say the last word because we'll continue to have you here, but your departing statement this evening.
Amen. To the audience, I love the engagement. Please, maybe that's something we forget. People raise some stuff when we register with all the corporate regulators here. We've made somebody pointed it out. We've already written to them to incorporate them to do all the regulations to make sure we are covered. Please. There's no stupid question. And I wanted to understand, I wanted to think about this though, guys. We are all children from the same mother and the same father, which is our beloved Liberia. I think it was Dr. Kpade who said, our umbilical cord, our neighbor stream is buried in Liberia. This is our heritage, our common heritage. There will be disagreements politically. There might be some tribal disagreement, but those things are petty compared to who we are as a people. We are Liberians first. And until we make the decision to say, you know what, wrong? I am not from Bomi. I'm not from Grand Bassa. I'm not from Riverside. I'm a Liberian citizen first. If Liberia succeeds, by extension, Sano County has succeeded, Grand Jita has succeeded. And the more we have more success in Vanjima, that success is forced to extend into Bapuru County. In Nima County, it will extend into Grand Jita. It will extend into Bon County. I want us to start thinking in that fashion. Our brothers back home, they are looking to us. The government may be slow, and I said this to my government before. We need their help heavily. Even if the government want to partner with us, we have written to the government, and I want them to take us seriously, to say, Mr. Dwalu, we will come up with the seed money for you to be able to raise this money. And I hate that I have to do this publicly, but I've written, and it's been some time, but our goal here is it costs money to raise money. We have to raise this money. If we don't raise this money, we cannot bring the change that we truly want to come to Liberia. And I want to assure you guys, do not worry about your money. Never worry about your money. Your money is in the trust. Nobody can touch it. And I say this 100%. Even the bank that. But why you put a block on the money? I said, no, the money don't belong to me. I will raise the money for the 1 to 2 year, or hopefully we'll raise it only in 1 year. And then when we're ready, say, and all the money, you're the board of director, and we all decide how to expand this money based on the projects that I just listed. Now, there can be more projects added to this, but I want you to understand, if we don't do nothing, like bro, be ready. Until all our put our foot down, we say, you know what, wrong, we'll face our country, and then we can push the government towards the direction that truly brings about development to our country. Once again, man, Mr. Soul, Republic Radio, to my fellow Liberians, you're taking plenty.
So let me tell you now, for me, I don't have too much of secret, especially something that eventually going to come to public light.
Yeah.
And before I kind of like do full declarations, I like to have that conversation as well, ask my own questions beyond what we talk behind the scene.
Yeah.
I see it as a very great innovation.
Yeah.
Far-sightedness, somebody who is willing to get something done, who discovered some of the problems and trying to find solutions, remedies to those problems, and willing to take the risk to call whatever name that they can call, but still have that sort of courage and to face the camera. We want to say we are in 100% support of this. Like I said, life is risk.
Yeah.
Nothing is guaranteed. You go to bed tonight, nothing is guaranteed that you're going to wake up the next day. What I can be part of anything if I join it. And I found out the first message brought forward is different from the other message coming up because it's getting rep or something. I will raise my finger. I will speak against it. You like
that's
it,
what we
you
want.
like it. That's it.
What we want.
I'm not going to be like one of those people. Everything is yes, yes. You got to say no when it is necessary to say no. You got to say yes when it is necessary to say yes. We are in for it. I see it as a game changer in our economy to the growth for the betterment of our people. For a young person like you, you decide not to kill this vision, this dream, but you put it out there. It's left for people to accept and to buy. And like I said, the history, some of us maybe people are taking that with the my mentor that they retired now too. I enjoy him because he took that way first. And as well as the people that create message bastard money. People put it 200 out this and see where it is.
Yeah. But how many times would I show $1,000 away, Mr. So? No, how many times if I name it will be too plenty?
Sometimes we pay crazy money for foolishness that doesn't do anything. Pay for the wedding weekend last for one day and then you come back.
I'm not there.
My own talking. I'm just saying let's invest into something for the good of the country.
Yes.
That will change people's lives. Something that will kind of like make our country better. And we stand ready to do what we can do to support this. We'll sell it when it's necessary. When something not going right, we'll come back here and speak it out as well. But Dwalo, I want to thank you so much. I'll send you a message. Just look at our message and we can move forward from there. Please, we want to encourage you, call Dwalo, ask all of your questions. Sometimes the website 30 minutes is not enough yet. Call him personally so that you can have that sort of personal connection and see where he's going to this.
Please visit the website. Visit the website.
That's where the website.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, folks, that's it. Let's give people a chance, and then they will move the word. And I think that's why it is. And I believe, and we ask some of those same questions. Yes, and I'm glad that he's taking some of those decisions. To disengage and focus. And like I said, sometimes on this network, we talk politics and also look at what is happening in the community. But I think his vision is pretty clear. We got to support it. You got to get involved because if you're distant from something, you will not know the inner part of it. When you get there, then you can be able to make suggestions. You can be able to make contributions. But you can't be part of you're not part of a susu, then people eating, then you say you want to go there. No. So the only way we can get things fixed in our country is all of us directly, indirectly. What I would not do is you go into something that you know is not right and you pretend and you become like a big deceit that you're not even telling the leader. This is the problem that we are having every day. Everybody wants to gain some sort of favor with leaders, with everything thrown out there. These people, they have multiple things going on at the same time. And you do not just have the courage to tell somebody, yes, I even support what you are doing, but this one here, I don't think it is the right time. This is like a taboo to us. And I think it's unfair to these very people that you support. We can't and we must not allow politics to just take hold of ourselves. We must have the courage to put the interest of the country first. But for no indication, the interest of the country is not even second or not even third, because we try to do it to enrich ourselves, and we are not willing to take a risk. It's the same way the politicians, no Liberian politicians willing to take a political risk, even to their own party, if it is they are not doing the right thing. They will never do it. Never. The only thing at the end of the day, then they shift position, they shift the gear. The men were not listening to her, but you never spoke out publicly to disassociate or denounce. It's not a matter of being disrespectful. If you don't agree with something, you just not agree with it. It's all policies issues we are not talking about. We're not talking about these sort of personal stuff. No. We saw what happened here on the bigger scale here. The Liz Cheney and some other strong Republicans, die-hard Republicans, conservatives, they took the political risk and they knew the consequences would have been the backlash. They came out publicly, but we like to do things in the shadow, in darkness, like Nicodemus. And you think that we are like some sort of soothsayer, we want to read your mind. Me, I knew you are not going to do it. You need to come out until we can get and have people who will speak. Not these fake things that going around there. All the party then they not join them. Go to the other one, nothing happened. They go to this one, nothing happened. They will never tell you what were their political ideology, disagreements for living, and what were some of the solutions put forward. Or less, most of them, they're just like personal. The man promised to do the one he not do it. He was also called my mom say, and power say he not call me, and he not call me this and that. Who cares? Until we can put the interest of the country first and start worshiping and just start agreeing with people, everything at some point in time. The letter N and the letter Y didn't just put them in the dictionary for just to showcase. When it's necessary to say no, say no. When you should say yes, say yes. 99% of our people, they are sycophants, grievous seeker, hypocrites. Everything is yes. But when the train derail, then they try to remove themselves from the scene as if they were not part of that movie. That is what I don't like. And this is what we do. And this is what I've come to realize, the politics of Liberia, how terrible it is. When they are within the proximity of leadership, everything is okay. As soon as they leave there today, oh, you are not listening to me. Oh, she was not listening to you. You kept quiet. You zip it up for years, for months. Only because your dinner table legs broke down, and then you want to remove yourself from the same to be like you who. That is bad. But I think let's give him the chance, let's give him the opportunity, and he will prove himself. And I would say get involved. Ask all of the questions. Take up time. Call him. Email him. Ask him some questions. Open-ended questions like he explains so that you'll be convinced. Not just us only having a conversation here and you take that on the face value to make a judgment, but asking, see where is the connection? You know, we might not ask all of the questions. The 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hours is insufficient. But you call him. I think about, hey, draw out specific questions, you know, and send it. Hey, people can, I know staying on telephone is a lot, but hey, these are my questions, and see what he can provide answers. But I can say, if our voices is to be heard, and if our voices is to be powerful, if our voices is to change the political trajectory, and will be counted, will be considered not like an outsider, is to also make a good investment. You know, let's talk so and talk so. we front on our people making some political decision is because we are not willing to make some sacrifices in our towns, in our villages. So the representative man there who can lose money, the man house is leaking, you get pregnant woman, maybe the other child working, the house leaking, they not eat whole day, only one meal a day, no lunch, nothing. And somebody giving them, that person literally controls and regulates, seize their liberty. So it can be your brother or your sister. You tell them, don't vote for that person, you're wasting your time. He's thinking how his son's school fee will be paid. I know it is insane, it is ridiculous, but this is the strategies of these people. These things are designed, their actions deliberate, they put it together to keep people into what I would call a modern slavery. This is what they get these sort of fabulous money being rationed proportion to them, the whole far away, because they know they're going to apply financial violence to gain to hold far with state power. Unless we can break through that gap, that chain can be broken by creating an opportunity, options, where people will be able to make informed decisions for themselves. Other than that, it doesn't matter. You take all of the ex-presidents of this country and you take them there. And if we don't have that honest heart and mind for our country, that fear, if we don't have that for the good of the country, because the mindset of the people, they go there today, they're not guaranteed the next season, that is the next election, whatever it is, they will retain position. So they go there today, they act like Abu Kiri. If you ever went to Raxi Cinema before, I used to be a favorite of Raxi, a Chinese show. They act like Abu Kiri, they just grab their hands and want to eat everything. And interestingly, these people who are doing these things, whether they stay there 5 years, 6 years, 12 years, if they leave those positions, go and see them 2 months after. Go and see them. They are not creative, they are not innovative. So it is only that place. Once they leave that place, Creole men say, "It don't, c'est fini." Nothing else. So this is what when they get that place, they do everything possibly that they can. Today they are all playing like white. Tomorrow is a different thing. So the only way we diminish the political iron hand in that country is to make some ultimate sacrifices by making a huge investment that would tweak and change the narrative, the minds of our people. Because the politicians have been so successful to present our brothers and sisters against us in the diaspora. And that is their fear. And that's why when you even go for a visit, they ask you, "Oh, my man, you here to stay?" Insecurity. Because these people label us as just only people who just only seeking job. And what's wrong with even seeking job when you want to work? What is important, what you bring to the table, your authenticity, your honesty, and the love of the country. Anybody who says that they don't want to work for their country, then I have a serious problem. Then it means you just don't trust yourself. And so you don't want to be trusted. Why would people don't want to work for their country? Why they don't want to work for government? Everybody literally want a state job because they know the benefits. But until we can hold these people accountable to our values, then it's also good. So it's a two-way street. They have to do it that way. We have to break that chain. It's not an easy thing because you have Goliaths and you have Lucifers all posted not to allow that happen because they will see it as taking their daily bread off their table. We have to do this. Sorry, politics is what controls us globally. Why are these people who are talking about transparency, these 73 men and women in the house? I'm wondering how many of them are willing to take a revisit of 9 years as senator. For what reason? Why? Why? When will your child or your daughter too will have the opportunity to contest for their own county? When I'm there for 9 years, no level of corruption will make any of these people to resign as like it will never happen. They will take an appeal, they will rally people. That case will come by like you open Coca-Cola bottle, you go into whatever cold, but you go low, it go on, it's submerged, it go on water. You're in a position, you stay there 9 years. After 9 years, you go by for re-election. 9 plus 9, 18. If you not die, some of them, they will still go back. This is what we have all the trouble we are having. These people, they have managed to put into laws, legislation to enrich themselves. And we are not doing anything about it. The civil society, zero. Advocacy group, zero. They are all corrupt. The politicians has managed to infiltrate them. They are all sold out. They come and they pretend to be advocates. If they don't see their way, then they come again, they bend their head down and confess and acting as that. But yes, you celebrate these people, you cheer them up. So you too are problem to already problem on ground. It's a very difficult thing. It's a very difficult thing. Muammar Gaddafi said, the late Gaddafi, there's no freedom without pain. Our politicians and the psychedelic, the politicians, they don't want to go to jail. Then you're not politicians. Politicians, you got to go through pain if you want to actually affect changes. But for every time they go to jail, they tell or they're counting the number of times they go to jail. I want to jail to this place, I want to jail to this place. That's the cost of freedoms. There's a price to that. You don't need to tell me. Nelson Mandela, how many years? You know, Liberian man, this 29 years stay in jail. He will serve as president 29 years. If he will cause he or her to change that rules around, maybe that 29 will be double. But guess what? Came only one time, and that was just all to you because there was a defined objective. There was something he was trying to change to make the people's lives better. And as soon as that was done, he felt his goal. He felt his tiger point. He felt relief. That would have happened in any of us case. Maybe that 29, he will triple it. I say 29, 29 plus 29 plus 29 to be leader because you were in a maximum person compound. Listen to the late Dr. King. He said some days we will get there. He didn't guarantee that you were going to do it, but he took the lead. How many years after you ever saw the Black president? So people made an ultimate sacrifice, put their lives on the line for what the future will bring. How many of us, out of authenticity, willing to get that done? The entire system is polarized. You come to the media, corrupt. Politicians now manage to infiltrate those who are supposed to be the advocate. And so they're pushing their message, solidifying their message, reconstructing the crime scene politically. So politicians become selective where to go and where not to go because they want to go somewhere where their message will resonate or where people want to spoon feed them without asking them the questions that the electorate needs to ask in order to make an informed decision. And guess what? The electorate themselves solidify these people's attitude and give justifications to their actions. It happened yesterday, and I thought, why you're talking now? Can you imagine? Yet we say we want to have a transformed country. People are not being held accountable adequately by going through the process to have them either vindicated or adjudicated. It happened Dota Yanato, it happened Chatidata Yanato, it happened Wiata Yanato, it happened in Boykata, Yawanto. I mean, just kind of like the sort of visual cycle. So it's like the system is like a club. You know, it's just so sad. It's all because people are very much protective of their own. And we all help to do what we are doing. But until we can have the courage and tell our belly and stand up for the good of the country and be let Representative Adam Kinzinger of Illinois and that of Liz Cheney, who stood against their own party because their political ideology, even though it caused them a political price that they did not go back to Congress. But I believe they felt relief from in themselves of doing what is right for the country or their constituent. How many of us are willing to do that? How many of us are afraid of being fired? We'll speak against the party standard bearer, or call them political leader or whatever it is, giving themselves the authoritative supreme power that will create fear, intimidation, bullying, and all of that. Political leader, to give it a sort of fine nomenclature. And even to one or two persons in that group wants to be the one to question some of the things that are happening. Guess what? Those who want power, those who want to get the support of the leader, watch out for this guy here. And you see the question he asked the other day, yeah. And you saw the one he asked today, he offered something. That's what it'll do. This is why we don't have institutions. We have social clubs. The NDPL. There was no contingency plans on the part of Samuel Doe that one day he would fade away from the political scene and there must be a new emergent leader. Nothing. So that with Unity Party, we don't know the distinctions of that of Joseph Boyka Unity Party and that of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf Unity Party. We saw that with CDC. Who was the nice person that really trained that after George, we have to be the face. We build them to give themselves the supreme power so that they will remain untouched. And so they stay there for the life of the loan. Let's take a break. We'll be back. Hopefully my second guest will be here. He said he was running late, so I'm hoping that he comes on. If not, we will have to do a reschedule here. But let's take a quick break here, and I will be right back. Let's see what this guy gonna come on.
Do you want to share your events with the world? Why not contact us? We are Liberia Public Radio, LPR. We are the specialists in advertisements, commercials, radio and TV services. We have the professionals that can help you sell your products and provide live coverage of all events, such as weddings, conventions, graduations, reunions, anniversaries, sports, birthdays, baby showers, religious activities, funerals, and many more. Take your phone right now and call any of the following numbers: 682-433-8802, 267-648-6089, 484-786-3337, or 916-533-2048. Our customer service representatives are waiting to take your calls and give you the needed assistance. It is LPR, the home of excellent media services, and your friends in business.
Okay.
Hello, listeners. This is Mazola, the lover boy. I'd like to invite you to this exciting program. It is called Dancing for Jesus. It is intended to play beautiful, inspirational music to help you turn your life to God. Join me on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is our way of showing appreciation to God for the good things He has done for us and continue to do. Don't miss this opportunity. Join Mazola Gizi on every Sunday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the program Dancing for Jesus. Please be there because I will be here to rock it up for you.
Okay. All right. That's our guy, Mazola Gizi. I'm from Sozian we show about the chairpersons of the election commissions of the Grand United Associations in America, Commissioner Eric Tay. But I guess he's running late or either caught in something else. That is so I'm not sure. I'm just trying to reach out. Other than that, things happened. We can reschedule the program because the time is fast spent. So maybe I'll reach out to him to see whether we can reschedule the program. But however, we always see it, and we always like to be part of community engagement, not just on the national scene, because these people, potentially when they leave, they also have big agendas. So it's better knowing them from the grassroots level until they get to where they want to get, which is a good thing as well. Always let us know whether here in the diaspora, if you have your event, whatever functions, any memorable functions that you plan to host, or you plan to do, regardless of your locations, let us know. We can find a way. That's how we want to solicit from you. We want to provide some sort of services or service to you, then you give. And like I always say, yeah, we will ask, not that we don't want to ask, not that we don't have Cash App, not that we don't have Zelle. But we can't just take advantage of people's goodwill every event, every night, every second Cash Out. We want to ask when it is necessary. We want to ask when we can illustrate, visual it by showing you what we really want to do with your money. Like what the dollar is saying, he's unveiling his visions, his plans. You're asking all the question. Not just every evening come here and just pull Cash Out number. You want to wait is out of your own evaluation. Okay, I think it's better late than never. The chairman of the election commissions of the Grand United Association is here. Former sitting chapter president. I remember 2015, it was one of the conventions in Grand United Association history in Phoenix, Arizona. Then he was president. He contested and still back into community service. President Eric Tay is here. Let me just bring him on. He is the chairman of the Election Commission comes 2025. And is that Kentucky, Mr. Chairman?
So how's it going?
Good. You hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing. I'm trying to see myself.
Yeah, I see you. You're not seeing yourself?
Yeah, I wasn't. I just this. Okay. Here we go.
Is it possible if you can also have that device in the horizontal in the landscape so that we can see?
Maybe that would definitely help a lot too.
Yeah. Maybe I can put you in the backstage while you're working on that. Is that something you want us to do? Or
yeah, I'll do that.
Just put you backstage. Once I see your set, I will do it. Just flip it around and see if it is okay. Then I will bring you in. Let me get a thumbs up. This is okay. I think it seems okay. Let me see here. Yeah, there we go. I think folks, just bear with us. I'm quite sure we'll try to make another time where he will come here because of time is already late. Okay, I think that should be okay. All right, let's see here. Let's take a shot here. All right, there we go.
All right, that seems like we.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, much better. Far better. Okay. Commissioner Tay, good to have you here. How are you? Long time.
I'm doing great.
How is the retirement? Are you getting your Social Security from your job?
Yeah. I hope that was in a different kind of war, in the real war, but unfortunately not this one.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, we are still serving our community in different capacity.
Yeah.
So there is nothing called retirement within our local communities. There's always somewhere for you to, volunteer your time and resources.
All right. Okay. All right. Good to have you here. Always on this network. I'm not sure whether we ever had an opportunity to have a conversation here, but it's good to have you, and I hope this will not be the last. But as we move into this process, your role is very crucial. Chairpersons of the 2025 Grand election. Okay, so let's have a conversation here a little bit, and let's see here. If you want to just give a self-intro, brief one before we get down to the issue, you can go ahead.
Well, I'm pretty sure for those who don't know me, my name is Eric Tay. Just like my host said, I'm the current chair for the 2025 Grand Jury Association election that is scheduled to take place in Louisville, Kentucky, May 11. So I think that's why I'm here. So talk about the election, this coming up elections, and what is expected of our folks.
Okay. All right, let's get a portion. What's the difficulty? I sat in this position, was that 2010 here, one of the consequential elections of Grand Jury Association. That election was more or less was a determining factor of either the dissolution of the organization or the continuity of the organization. So I know exactly what it means, the pressure and all of the things that involve. And when you are leading, sometimes your own commissioners, people want to do different things, but you have to stand your ground, because at the end of the day, say you the one. Even though all of you are good, they will put it on you, because when you sport, then they leader, but when you're good, then everybody. So let's talk to all you. How is the process here for the rest of the Grenadians and sympathizers of the Grenadian Association? We know the consequences of elections in its execution. How is the planning process thus far?
It's definitely smooth. Let me say that I do have the best team. Remember that the last election, I was a second batch. I was part of the second batch of the the commissions. Remember, there was a first batch of commission that got removed, and then we were the next crew that came in. And I was the co-chair of the second batch of commission, and I've done this before, and I know how it can be definite. They can put it as 8, but it is not as difficult as sometimes they make it seem to be. People make it so over complicated. When you are elected into these positions, it's according, your community call you and say, look, we want you to come and serve us in this capacity, right? So it's not some kind of big deal for you to make it so complicated. What we did as a commission, we simplify the whole process. We make it very simple where people will not be overburdened. And I think as compared to previous commissions, that's exactly what we did. And I have the best team. This team is not a team that that will come from a meeting or disagree with everyone due to the fact that they have a side. Naturally we all have bias. We have our bias in us, but what I see in each member of this team is that they know how to separate their personal feelings from that of the work that they are tasked to do. So the process is smooth. Since we started, we have never had any issue between us. Our preparation been smooth. And there we are. So May 11th, we are going to be in Kentucky and deliver.
May 11th, I love that. For the benefit of those who don't know, but they also will follow us to Grand United Association. How many candidates in the race so far?
There is 2 teams. There is the current president, Madame Edith Poir, and the challenger, Mr. Octavius Gilman, who's also a resident, a member of the Michigan chapter.
Okay. All right. I know we received something. The guidelines. How is the process in terms of transparency? I know you were one. I believe Madam Poating, correct? Now you're playing to get a different role. And an apprehension from the other side to say, oh, the man was this place. And I know these kind of conversations will always, but we'll let it get it all out here, right here on LPR. Is there any reasons people that disagree that on the other side that will be apprehensive with the work of your commission, you being the chair?
No, there's not. And I just want to let you know that my coming into this position was not from anyone else beside the folks you consider as the other side, were the one that actually nominated me, just to let you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's even the challenger. I remember vividly. I was coming outside of the conference room doing I think the business session, and he approached me and said, "Man, look, we look in the Tiger Grill. One of you, we really trust you can deliver this election, but I want you to know that I'll be contesting. But I really want to nominate you so you can be the commissioner as well too, because I feel that with you, this process is going to be smooth. It's going to be very transparent." I told you, hey, I got to think about it. I got to talk to my wife right before anybody nominate me. Came back for the second time again with another individual, and I said, you guys go ahead and nominate me. So yeah, it is the other side the side that you referred to as other side were actually those that nominated me on the board before I was even got elected.
Okay. How is the process in terms of registration? And I know that's one of the challenges. You have administration, the membership committees, submissions, election commission will set up their guidelines for people to meet timely submissions of documentations or whatever requires for the commission to effectively run. This is the problem with our people too. Sometimes they will not follow those guidelines, and as a result, it puts the commissions or the working group under pressure to get things done. What is the level of cooperation in terms of these various chapters, submissions of registration? Is the process on now, first of all?
Yes, we have released, we did release a communication last year. It is not our place to engage chapter leadership, and whether they are registering or not. But it is our place to engage the current leadership to remind them that as of April 12th, we will be expecting the first batch of registrations of registered members, because by April 12th, we will need to be publishing those for the first time. And I think we also in the process of releasing a video, going through all those dates and trying to remind every chapter leadership and the administration to follow those guidelines, follow those deadlines as well too, so that they can be on task. So for us, I don't think it is our place to engage chapters. The leadership, the national leadership, will do that. If we have any any information that we need to in regard to chapters, we will go through the national administration, and they can relate that information in their chapter meetings or in their chapter presidents meetings as well too. Another thing that I wanted to talk about as well too is those dates, the video that was released, we thoroughly went through all those dates. And it is chapter leadership responsibility to be on task to make sure that they're serving their membership well. If you neglect your responsibility, that could definitely affect your leadership. That you represent your chapter. It left for you and your chapter to handle that one. And I think everyone who's representing your chapter needs to be able to take their responsibility serious and be on task. We have given folks enough time to start registration. It started last December, and we're expecting our first batch to come this coming April 12th. We're also, in preparation of scheduled meeting with the national administration. We'll be releasing the communication with them, and then us, will go through, the information that we need so that they can present it to us in the listing part of it. Yeah, but yeah, we are working on the list. We're trying to meet with the national administration. If they have the first batch of list, that will be published by April 12th.
April 12th. The executions of all of these and successful implementations of elections is the support, the financial aspect in terms of fundings from the administration to have the commission to execute that. Tell us here a little bit, what is the working to in terms of, is the commissions up to date in administration, national administration, providing the necessary fundings to make sure that you host a successful election year?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, this commissions is different. We're going to do, and we are doing things differently. Even members of the national administrations have volunteered their time. They're giving back to this community. And we went through the budgets that was presented by previous commissions. And some of the things we feel like really is taken away from the organization. Whether I'm asked to be a commissioner or not, I'm still going to go to the convention. I'm still going to transport myself. Under no circumstance that, Grand Gate Association should transport me to go to Kentucky because I'm election commission. A ballot box from Walmart is about $20. A rim of paper is about $20. So we see the budgets not even going to go above $200. Even in the last commission I was on as a co-chair, we did not spend more than $200. So in that case, what we did was we'll take the expense for the receipt together. It will feel like it's something that needs to be disbursed or reimbursed. And if not, we ourselves we annotate that cost if it is $200 less, because if we need two big boxes, about 5 we need, that's $100 there. A rainbow paper is $20. We're not going to spend more than $200. It's nothing to pull a $200 budget together and send a Grand Unit Association for us to know. If I refuse to allow Grand Unit Association to pay our transport to go to Kentucky to conduct the election, even with not permission, we're not going to. So all those items that they have on would really not necessary. So that's why we refuse to actually submit budget to the to the leadership. If you ask them, they will tell you we did not submit any budget.
So I don't know. You can better explain about that. I'm not talking about national administration paying chairman way to go to Louisiana. I'm just talking about the smooth implementations, having ballot things, making extra provisions to make sure. Because one of the things I know, Grand Unit, when it comes to it, you were in Arizona. I don't know whether you saw the New England elections. I've seen the momentum potential. There will be a crowded process. Is the commissions also taking into considerations the queue, how the process is going to, I know, I'll be, 5 persons. How many queues? How is it going to be? Is there some sort of arrangement in terms of category, chapters, how it's going to be doing the voting process, or stuff like that for just smooth and quiet process? People be in the long queue all day.
So in regard to that, we plan to, that will be determined by the list that will be submitted to us. So yeah, so we want to see which chapter have the most members, registered members. Then we can put them in a bucket. But yeah, there's going to be about 5 queue. So if we have more people from Iowa, we got more people from Minnesota, and then we got maybe 10 people from Arizona. So we take them, and maybe we got 20 people from North Dakota. We take the Arizona group and put it into the North Dakota group just to balance the line stuff. So yeah, we have actually working on that. We're just waiting to be able to, as soon as we get the final listing, and then we compare the numbers and see how many registered members we got. Then we will come out with what category each state fits in, how you're going to be voting and stuff as well. So the process is going. We are working on that, but it's not finalized yet because we don't have the list.
Yeah. But definitely you want to tell us here on camera that once the submissions of that list is done and it's been finalized, published, you get a precise figure. You will then unveil how the electoral process
work, yeah, rules and where you're supposed to be to vote, what line you're going to be, whether Q, A, B, C, and D.
What is the requirement set for for one to vote as a Grand Union? What do they need to know?
Yeah, for us, you have to be a registered member. You have to be on our list. 2, you have to come with a government ID. Government issue ID, it have to be from the United States. Yeah. So it must be an ID that we can authenticate. And that's all. Another thing as well too is that if my name is Eric, Erickson, that's 2 different names. So if the list have Eric and your ID have Erickson, you can't vote. That's different name. So that's why we encourage every chapter leadership to make sure that they register their members, with the names on their driver license, with the names on the government issue identification.
Will you have enough room of time to go through all of this verification, everything's to be corrected prior to the elections itself? Do you have enough room?
Yes.
And I hope that the publication will be after the publications, it'll be to verify people who want to raise concern. Oh, Alfonso is not part of this chapter, that chapter, all of those things. Do you have enough room of time to make sure those things are verified?
We do. And the strategy is we also plan to have a joint meeting with both the national leadership and every chapter leadership. In that meeting, we will go from one chapter to another. This is the list we have. This is the list you have. This is the list you submitted, those names correct. And we're going to verify people through the chapter leadership. It's not through individual members. Even though we'll publish it, encourage other people. But the final, before we say, okay, this is the final list, we are going to have a general meeting with both the leadership and the chapter leaders. so that they can confirm, they can be on record to say, yes, I sent this is correct, this is the name, and that's it. And we go from there. Because if you stamp it as a chapter president, that's what we're using.
We have a full publications of qualified voters, maybe the site or prior to the election, so that everyone would know how many persons, for example, coming from New England, coming from Iowa, will there be a publications of qualified voters? Will those information be shared with all of the stakeholders, especially the two participating teams, out of transparency? I'm just curious.
Well, we're using both the organization website. We're also using the organization community WhatsApp group chat, in the email system as well too, to share that with not just those two teams, but also with every stakeholder within the community. So I really encourage people to be proactive and watch every documentation that we release in the group chat and also on the website as well too. Unfortunately, this year we don't have a Facebook page. It's been like almost 20 different Grand Jury Association election commission Facebook page out there. Every time you see it, but we just want to utilize the website to make sure that we have all the information on the website, so that tomorrow we can go back, and see, and review those.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I think that's a good one, because sometimes people come here. Let's talk about the candidates. We want to encourage people to vote on people's ideas, their visions, and not just, oh, I'm from this other section, I'm from this section. Are there any presidential, any debates to give people the opportunity to make an informed decisions? And what a category of those different debates, if there's any?
Yeah, there's going to be a debate. There are multiple debates that's scheduled. Unfortunately, there was supposed to be one in February. We canceled due to some other reason, but we're actually in preparation with other media outlets within our community. We have tapped 3 different people to moderate the virtual debate. So we want to do the first phase of the debate online, just like you and I right now having the conversation. So that one's going to be a vice presidential debate. The communication will be going out by the end of business day tomorrow. Before, actually, you and I spoke earlier today, and I called the Secretary General to see if she have sent that communication out yet, because April 19th, and I think this is the very first time we're releasing this information on your show here. April 19th, there's going to be a debate, vice presidential debate, and the financial secretary debate. Somebody asked me, why financial secretary? And I told them, this is one of the critical positions we have when it comes to Grand Jury Association. And we need to make sure that folks who will be managing our finances have the most basic knowledge to be able to do that. Not just what is on the paper, but can you interpret what is on the paper? Can you vote on, so we can hear from you too. That's some of the reason we have this debate, so that people who don't know you can hear from you as well too, and say, look, maybe what they say about this person is wrong. This person seems to be knowledgeable. It's good for the candidate as well too. The debate, it brings out the person, it doesn't shy the person away. It brings out the goods in the person. So I think the debate is important. That's why we scheduled the vice presidential debate April 19th, and also this, the secretary, not secretary, but the treasurer debate, which we also can call financial secretary debate too on the 19th. But the vice presidential debate, there's going to be one virtual. And then when we go to the convention, we change this. Usually on Saturday night they have debate, and I feel like it kills folks. Go there, and during the ball time, they want to be able to really have a good time. And then when the debate is incited, it kills the vibe. It kills the purpose of why we're there. So that's why we moved the debate to Friday, the welcome night. So the debate would be Friday, I think the 9th or the 10th. Friday is the 10th, right? No, Friday is the 9th. The 9th. So Friday is the 9th. So so the vice presidents, the vice presidential candidate will debate for the first hour. So they will open up for the presidential debate. So the vice president should get ready to debating twice. They debate on April 19, and then they will debate on May 9. So it's 2 debates for vice presidents. So they will open up for at least an hour, and then we get into the presidential debate on the 9th as well too. So everything's happening on the 9th, Friday the 9th. On the 19th of April, we'll have our presidential debate. We'll have the financial secretary debate as well too. So that communication is going out tomorrow to every team. They will get prepared. We are hoping it's not going to be an excuse this time, and we'll make sure everybody have the opportunity to listen to them.
All right. I know elections, no small election, no big elections. I've been seeing Grand United Associations elections. They can be really, really, people. I think there's some sort of momentum in this in terms of people going around every little way now, people talking here and there. The planning aspect, and provision for extra security just to make sure that everything is okay, taking preventive measures, then managing crisis.
Well, we have not had a conversation with the national administration on that. We have not, that for sure. I'm hoping they can arrange that. If they are not arranging that, maybe we can bring that to the attention of both the board and the national leadership. And we're hoping we don't get to that, because our community is very small, and we don't need to have security to restrain us. And I pray that we have passed those days. And you're right.
Process.
I'm just praying. I'm just praying that we have passed those days, because you're right. There's no small elections. That happens multiple times. Even the last election that was held in Iowa, I was a co-chair, and people who I never expected to do what they did, I was shocked. And they did that. They were one that came to cause commotion. Is the one that came to cause the trouble. And I was so disappointed. And I said, look, you can't stop the election. Even when it's white ballot, you disagree with white ballot, you can still stop it. It has to happen. And not because you disagree with A, that means we should stop it. So you want to become violent because you're wrong, your voice, people are not listening to you, because you're on the other side. Being on the other side, not because you're wrong today, doesn't mean you'll be wrong tomorrow. So causing trouble is not the best way. And that's why we ended having, security police officers at the last election. And I'm hoping, I'm praying we don't have that this coming election. Yeah.
Yeah, I know granular. What becomes of
well, you're the veteran. You've been there before us, so you're
crazy. What becomes of, Mr. Chairman, what becomes of other granular? Obviously, we know because of work schedule, family reasons, and a different variety of reasons. Everybody will know, but everybody will not be there. We want everybody to be there. But even far beyond that, there are Grenadians outside of the USA and even Liberia that they will want to see the process. What are the planning process in terms of courage, more or less, to make the process more transparent? We don't want people making a guess here. Oh, they want happen that. What is the process in terms of what are the plans of the commission to make those who will not attend the convention to see images coming from those conventions?
So what I always told people, I said, this election, whoever wins has the most number. You must have the most number to win. And it's going to be very free and fair. It's going to be very transparent. So the question is, when we want to make it transparent, is it going to be other independent observers as well too? And that's where the media comes in. There were, people like, LPRs, LPR, like you, public radio like you, and then also we have other television, Facebook hosts, top hosts like the Double and the Fremont as well too. So we are going to give them an exclusive, every one of you, an exclusive access to the whole process. The counting process, you will be there. You all will be there to monitor, the entire process to make sure that coverage is there 24/7. That folks in Grangida or Liberia or those in other states who never had the opportunity to attend, they will have the opportunity to to watch what is unfolding at that day. So we are encouraging each of you. You have been doing this for the past years. Nobody have ever paid you penny or dime to cover the Grangida Association. And we're hoping it does not stop this time. We hope you all be there to cover.
This time you will pay.
Well, that would be another conversation. This why Prince Double have not even he tried to get me on his show multiple times, and that's why I'm not on his show, right? He was scheduling me and said, okay, next we will do it. There were time getting approached and say, I have not heard from you yet. What are you going? Not hear from me yet.
You see, the decoy handy language, right? No, I think it's better. We just need to know. Because look, I tell you, I mean, the sort of tension that comes to this yet, nobody goes to this sort of race to say I want to, even though there's established one person got to win, but the mindset of people are going, all of them will win. And even if one or two other person doesn't, they cheat. They always cheating them, but when they win, then it's okay. But if they flog there, then I cheat.
They're cheating.
The commissioner. That commissioner, in fact, he was a vice presidential candidate. Yeah, I don't want.
What you expect? What you expect? That man ran with either before. What you expecting?
Exactly, and this is where I mean, we are not good at managing crisis. So I just like to prevent crisis. We had a situation here in our own rural island here, and all of these Liberian community is the same. To the extent that there was an election after that Grangida conducted, we ended up going to a superior court. And when you go to court now, then no more. You're not talking in the Liberian way. You're not talking in the way you want to talk it. The law does not deal with circumstantial something. It just goes strictly to it. And we are saying we do not want to. Grangida Association has come a long way. We see a lot of things here, so we are willing to do whatever best so that we'll be on the right side of the law, publicity-wise. Whatever information that you have, you'll share with us. We'll do it. As multiple times, the commissions want to create that awareness. And somebody tomorrow say, "Oh, we're not here." We're not here. The commissioner say, "Oh, you will not even see the commissioner." We just say, "We're not here." Irritate the chairman. He say anything, even though there are other members there, and like you said, they are doing their good. So we will want to continue to have this sort of routine conversations or whatever that is lacking, that we can flag it. The appropriate leaders, administrations will also act to give the support to them, because sometimes the delay in providing funding, and then you have ballot printings of ballot papers, getting things done, stationery. I mean, there are a lot of things required. So that $200 budget we made there, you gotta. It's an institution. They need to the process. Yeah, it has to be. We can't be doing the kind of thing. We want better result, but we don't want to execute. We don't want to put a better plan. You don't want to tell your commissioner, why would you want to go pay your own money? No, I would not encourage you to do that, because at the end of the day, then it's like you brought the trouble on yourself, because these people, the organization needs to have the process of raising money for yourself in terms of registration, all of these things. So I hope that the nationals that they will take into consideration to make sure that they have the commission properly equipped, get everything they need, so that tomorrow you can. It's all because it's all about your legacy too. So I know our people, when you spoil, forget it. Then all the pa, grandpa, everybody need that. Yeah, they will call it pa, your papa, mom, just to give a total description. But how is the atmosphere so far in terms of everything that is going on? When is the presidential debate?
It's going to be made now on Friday at the convention.
So, if institution want to host one, who do we relate with? The commissions, the
Yeah, you're right,
candidate,
commission.
the commission?
Yes.
Yeah, I think okay.
We oversee every election and every process, activities. Anything have to do election, you go through us.
Okay, I think we do have interest. We want to give people different options, a broader view of how the process look. We're in a world of a godfather of a democracy, right? So we have to exhibit that. So let's hear from these candidates, and part of that is to encourage people to take a rightful decision. These are institutions, and these institutions must be preserved with respect to people who are going to lead, who are going to represent us. We can't just do it this sort of way and we expect something different. But I will reach out to them and see, hopefully they will make room for us, that we can even host that one virtual one here on LPR, while other people doing their own. That's okay. If it works out, fine. If not, well, it is what it is.
But you have the guidelines, right? Our guidelines.
Yeah.
Just read right before our signature. So we said the commission reserved the right to amend our rules at any time. So there has been changes going forward. We did change the vice presidential debate from February to April, right? And I think as thing goes by, we'll continue to make a couple of changes as well too. So it's not a bad thing. You can also reach out, and we'll consider that. We'll look into that and see how it'll be, because it is also good for the community to know ahead. It will actually prepare the presidential candidates for the actual impressive one. That's what too. So it's going to be to their benefit. So I don't think there is a reason why anything should refuse to debate before the 9th. I think it will give me the benefit. They will know, they'll learn, and know where they are, the weeks, where they, they were wrong and where they can improve going forward, so that they can do better. And when we get to the conventions, what to so. Yeah, they should accept it. I don't think it should be to their advantage.
Okay, Commissioner on Fairmont chapter president, by the way, how is your chapter? It said that Arizona had a new couple of years ago in terms of membership, the activity when you were president in 2015. Man, that convention, it was like one of the biggest gatherings of Grenadian ever in diaspora.
It was a tough convention, and we that live in Arizona, I just feel that we are blessed. We have some of the best members ever, folks who are willing to go above and beyond for this community, people who have sacrificed. I've always told most of them and most of the leaders that come and say, war or history does not remember in general, does not remember captain, lieutenant, private. No, the least man, the corporal, the last man is the best warrior, is one to fight well. But they will say, King Solomon won that battle. It's not King Solomon himself that went on the battle, that won that battle, that the man that worked with him, around him that fight that war. But they don't remember those people. The people they remember is the person on top. So everyone of you will say, oh, 2015 convention, heritage, that's the only thing you remember. But the actual people that did the work, those are people that are from Arizona, the membership here, and the folks who never slept. Those are folks, like I see plenty of women on their feet. Yourself, you saw that I did, all those girls.
President being in office, president in office, I saw you serving water, giving food to people, including the very LPR was there. And
I got to lead by example.
Right.
I have to lead by example, but they give me the strength though. Even though I was doing all that, but they give me the strength. When I see them doing when these people are doing it, how much more about me? if my membership who are not even in leadership, don't even have one single position, and they are doing this, and history is not going to remember them. So how much more about me? So yes, yeah, I can remember I didn't take shower for one day. I think almost 2 days I didn't take shower. my own house that day when I went home, I crashed. I fell in my kid's room, and I fell asleep right there, and they were looking for me. Yeah, on the Sunday, I think it was Sunday morning or Sunday evening. They were looking for me before we went to, the election never ended to the first convention hall, right? There was a second convention hall I booked, and we went there because they were looking for me to come open that door, and I was on the ground in my kid's room sleeping. I fell. I fell on my side, and I was so like I would give up, and then they were looking for me, calling me my wife, and she said, "Oh no, you're not home yet." Then she came outside, she saw my couch, she came out and said, "Oh, but you can't yet." And she looking for me. She go in your room, she couldn't find me. And one of my boys came and said, "Oh, Daddy, in my room." And she went and saw me right by that bed on the ground, on the floor, and I was not. She woke me up. I was gone. I was like totally gone. Yeah, that's how it was. And it was not just me. There was another one of our big brother called Omega Kala. Yeah, my vice president Adam Wilson and myself were looking for him. And while we're looking for him, he was crashed out. He was like laid down on the floor in his living room. He went home. He could not even reach to his room. He fell right on the ground in his living room. He fell asleep. When we opened the door, we forced open it because I used to be with him. So I have his room, a house key. When I opened it, he was right on the ground too. He gave up. So all these people, work hard, tirelessly. They were on their feet, making sure food are there 24/7. Those girls, that man, I've told people like, sometimes most of the membership here, most of our sisters in Arizona, when I call them sisters, it means a reason because they played that sisterly role during my administration. They were there, they supported me 24/7. When I called upon them, they would be there to represent this community. And so and every person that comes, I tell them, I say, let me tell you, don't take these people for granted. It's not about you. It's about make the ahead of it. Don't make it by yourself. When you start to make it by yourself, you the president, I'm the president, I'm the president. You want to make all the decisions. Trust me, you are not going to. Nobody will remember you. But if you make it by the membership, give them the responsibility, put it in charge, allow them to do the work. Trust me, the credit is not going to them; it's going to you.
Yeah.
Well, why do you want to show up to be the president? So yeah, but the chapter is still working, going forward. Every means that I fully participating. Every members I fully involved, and we'll be in Kentucky in full.
We'll be there in full. Grandian, I'll listen to you. What's the message you want to leave them with this evening?
Well, I think I want to say, being a commissioner, I'm also a member of the Grand Jury Association. It is time that we turn our attention back to our homeland. It is time that we turn our attention back to Grand Jury County. Our folks need us. The Grand Jury Association, we don't know how much power we have, how much differences we can make, how much change we can actually impact in Grand Jury County, then you are way behind. We have to be able to sacrifice our time and resources and give back to our county. So every members, please make it your responsibility to please go to Kentucky, make your voice heard, talk to your leadership. Whosoever wins this election, allow them, talk to them, and educate and allow them to understand that their Grand Jury County be a priority. Every project that we are undertaking should be in Grand Jury County. Everything that we do here today, it's not really going to, if we want to see results, we want to see impact, it has to be in Grand Jury County. Education, agriculture, empowering young people that come in. We have so much talented, so much innovative, clever young Grandians that needs our support, and we all need to wrap it around, and try to give them that support as well too, and build our county. There is a way we can definitely build it. Not everything government have to do. Not everything we have to depend on government. The moment we start, the government will come upon us. They will help us. And that's it. You know, we build it, they maintain it. We build it, they maintain it. We have to start it, they will finish it, and it will come upon us. You know, they know that they're supposed to do that, but at the same time, too, we in this country too, we have the knowledge. They go ahead and share it. And I just want to say congratulations to my a good friend of mine who also became the president for the Grand Jide Community College. He's going to be in Louisville, Kentucky this coming May. He's going to be there speaking to Grand Jideans as well, and how we all can help the Grand Jide Community College flourish and give our people quality education. So that's another part again as well. I want to say, Mr. So, if every Grand Jidean listen to me, that's another thing I want you to take into consideration, supporting the Grand Jide Community College. I hope the Grand Jide Association leadership can really look into that route. We really want to improve education, the quality of education back home in Grand Jide County, so that our little brothers and sisters can feel that education, what we have earned here, so we can share with them as well too. So please, so don't stay back. We want you there. Come there, interview Dr. Eric Boto, and do what you can do as well too, so that we can see Dr. Boto succeed where he succeed, Grand Jide County succeed, Grand Jide Community College succeed, and I hope our leadership, whosoever wins this election, can actually work along with him to improve our community college.
Okay, thank you so much, Vice President Erete, Commissioner Tate. Thank you for all what you do for our community, for our organization. And definitely, I've been having a conversation with Dr. Boto as well. So I didn't know that he did. Maybe he was just keeping an eye. Now I know he's coming. But yeah, I think that would be a good thing. And we're looking forward to having these conversations leading to the process of the elections. But thank you so much. And we will reach out to the commission with respect to what we can do and what our proposal will be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the time, sir. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Okay, guys, that's this event. That's the chairperson of the Election Commission by former President Eric Tate of Phoenix, Arizona. That's a Grand Jide Association, and now he is the chairman, former co-chair, now chair of the Election Commission. Very young, progressive man. Thank you for all what you do. Until then, folks, have a pleasant event. We got on very late today. We apologize going way over the board. Thank you so much. Have a pleasant night.